tonight. Well, we definitely gonna have to kind of watch what we say because we are definitely gonna be under the radar. We definitely gonna have folks listening in on this space. I've already been hit with a couple strikes on YouTube as well too, so I'm definitely gonna have to tell people definitely speak freely, but kind of the language, kind of watch it a little bit because we know right now you got a bunch of people that's upset, a bunch of people are gonna take offense to this space even being held tonight. So a lot of people don't even feel like it's patriotic, even though, to my knowledge, Israel is not part of the United States of America. So for my folks that come on YouTube as well, guys, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, share, like, and comment on tonight's broadcast. The title of the room is, and we got two different titles, but I'll read the title of the room in the Twitter space, then I'll read the title of the room over there in YouTube land. It says Black America debates Israel conflict. And we're talking about the Amar'e Stoudemire rant that he put on social media. With people over there in YouTube land, you may see where it says Black America debates Israel Hamas conflict. Ex-NBA star Amar'e Stoudemire defends Israel. Not only did he defend Israel, Amar'e Stoudemire, he went in on black people. Now, he said Black Lives Matter, but I think that was a nice way of saying black people as well, too. So we're going to touch up on both of those topics tonight. Shout out to Cognitive. What's up, Cognitive? What's up, Trouble? What's up, Diane? What's up, Viral D? What's up, Original? What's up with you, Original? Bracy, what's going on with you as well, too? So shout out to you guys coming up in the space. And like I was telling everybody, last night was definitely a great space, and we hope to have another great one tonight as well, too. Definitely, if y'all missed that space last night, you can always listen to the playback here on Twitter, and you can actually go to the actual you can go to the actual YouTube channel. Shout out our YouTube channel, just hit over 1,000 subscribers. Just hit over 1,000 subscribers. So putting in that work for the last year. So when we hit 1,000 subscribers, created a while ago, and then started actually posting videos of last year. So we hit over 1,000 subscribers. So shout out to everybody that's in the space that actually subscribes to the Newstoter YouTube channel as well, too, guys. So yes, we did hit over 1,000 subscribers today. So I just want to thank all you guys for definitely supporting as always. Yeah, we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna go ahead. I see my girl Aunt Live in here too. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. Up in the I don't have this article in the Jumbotron, but I'm reading this from Mogadam. It's Black America responds and debates Hamas attack on Israel. Three things to know. On October 7, Hamas, the Palestinian militant group in Gaza, attacked Israel and fired thousands of rockets reaching major Israeli cities. By all accounts, Israel was left shocked and stunned. The country has since hit back and thousands have been killed. But Hamas attack was like no other in recent history as its soldiers infiltrated Israeli towns and military bases and took hostages. The leaders of Hamas military wing said the attack was due to Israel's occupation of the West Bank, recent police actions in Jerusalem, and Palestinian tensions. The attack called one of the broadest invasions on Israeli territory for 50 years following months of strained tensions. Black Americans have responded to the attack. Here are three things to know. Who's Hamas? Hamas is a Palestinian military group that controls the Gaza Strip. It is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. The group is committed to armed resistance against Israel and it seeks a Palestinian state within pre-1967 borders. The U.S. designated Hamas as a terrorist group. Okay, Black notables and politicians speak out. And I'm going to get on the Amar'e Stoudemire thing too. Says the Reverend Al Sharpton, a veteran community leader and founder of the New York City-based National Action Network, issued a joint statement with various civil rights organizations condemning the attack. He posted a letter in Twitter X and wrote, National Action Network, Drum Major Institute, National Urban League, and the NAACP condemn violent attack on Israel. Organizers of the 60th anniversary of March on Washington stand in solidarity against hatred and war. In the letter, the group slams the attacks and notes, we hold innocent civilians, families, and our partners in our hearts. We call on all our partners and colleagues to join us in solidarity because hatred and war must end. Presidential candidate Cornel West called out both sides. He tweeted, the escalation of the barbaric violence in the Middle East must stop. The vicious Israeli occupation and the ugly Palestinian retaliation results in the killing of precious innocent people on both sides. We must have a long-lasting peace based on justice. Minority Leader of the U.S. House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, tweeted out a statement that said, "My statement on the violent, unprovoked, and despicable terrorist attack by Hamas against the state of Israel." In the statement he writes, "I strongly condemn the violent and ghastly attack by the terrorist organization on the Jewish people of the state of Israel. America stands firmly and unequivocally with Israel." The Black Caucus tweeted out its support for Israel. The post read, "We offer our sincerest condolences to the families who have lost loved ones, and we strongly condemn the attacks against the people of Israel by Hamas terrorists. The CBC stands firmly with Israel in its right to self-defense against these violent attacks." Some in Black America on Twitter X are decidedly pro-Palestinian. Motherland tweeted, "Atlanta stands with Palestine." Some pointed out a solidarity with Palestine. "I'll never forget how Palestine folks showed love to Black Americans after Mike Brown was killed. They wrote messages of solidarity and made videos teaching folks how to deal with tear gas. Our struggles are intertwined. The U.S. government does not speak for me. Free Palestine." R. Nicole tweeted. Others delved deeper into history on a long-standing conflict between Palestine and Israel. Left PhD tweeted, "If you're new to trying to understand what's going on in Palestine, just know that no other place in the world is more invested in Israel than the United States, and that investment economically and militaristic produces biased propaganda media coverage that matters." Sabby Says tweeted, "This day was coming. The Palestinian people have been oppressed far too long." Real Time Black tweeted out presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s stance, writing, "RFK Jr.'s tweet highlights the stark contrast between him and Dr. Cornel West on Palestinian rights, support for Palestinian life. You align with Dr. West, otherwise you are RFK Jr. is clear-cut. Some spoke out for free Palestine." William C. tweeted, Palestinian liberation has always exposed who everyone around us is. Inconsistency, complacency, and fraud, and defense of colonialism. Free Palestine with or without anyone trying to make indefensible genocidal oppression or complicated. Both sides matter." To a statement by Israel Defense Minister, "I have ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we will act accordingly." Let the words, somebody tweeted out, Yamada Taylor, "Let the words wash over you, because if this is a public statement, the reality for the 2 million civilians, half whom are children, that live in prison, that is Gaza, is 1,000,000 times worse." What's up? I see DJ's up in the spot too as well. DJ, I'm sending you the co-host invite. This is we heard some of the organizations. You had Reverend Al Sharpton, and then you had the NAACP, the Urban League, the Congressional Black Caucus standing firmly with Israel, while you do have a number of other Black people, some users on Twitter and everything else that's standing firmly with Palestine, and they feel like Palestine is getting a raw deal. So we're going to be getting into that tonight. We definitely, and I put a poll up there, guys. You guys get a chance. The poll, it says, should Black Americans worry themselves about the Israel and Hamas war? That's up in the Jumbotron, guys. You get a chance. That is on the far right-hand side. Definitely go ahead and get into that poll. Go ahead and retweet it out as well, too. I'm going to get to you 1 second, Trouble. I'm going to read one, and Bad Seed. I'm going to get to the Amare, Amar'e Stoudemire. I said, Bad Seed, Amare was speaking coon babble. Then you got the Messiah said, Israel is the synagogue of, okay. Like I said, guys, this is going to be one of these spaces. I saw Professor Black Truth. He had a quick 9-minute video, and I think he wanted to have a quick 9-minute video because he felt that, hey, having a long broadcast, a video about this actual topic, when we know, like I say, a certain group is, kind of favored over another group, especially by the media, and we know how they be striking channels. So I just want everybody to definitely speak freely tonight that you want to. We kind of keep in mind that, we do have people listening, people in higher positions. Some of you guys say the I forgot what y'all call them, the little hats or whatever. folks are listening. So just kind of be, a little bit weary of the language we use, speak freely, but know that I've already had a couple videos struck down. I don't know what the hell YouTube was talking about. I had a couple videos struck down and stuff like that. So definitely speak freely, but also remember that you are being watched and you are being listened to because, you know, there's a certain sentiment in this country, and you see the actual black leaders, especially black, and it doesn't matter black Democrats, black Republicans, white Democrats, white Republicans. They're pretty much on the side of one thing. I think Joe Biden was already talking about that they're going to stand with them. So don't be surprised if you don't see the U.S. military rolling over there pretty soon. They give them almost $4 billion a year, I believe, annually in terms of defense spending and stuff like that. So they're not, I mean, let's be for real, Israel is over there in the Middle East, and they are like the US's eyes and stuff like that in that area as well, too. So all I'm saying, definitely speak some truth in here tonight, guys. Just be careful, like I said, because they will strike the channel down. The black channels, the black news and everything else that's on YouTube. We don't get the love that we deserve. We're always low in the actual analytics and the algorithm and everything else, and it's done on purpose. So just keep that as a mind as well too. Like I said, the people that we know listening to this broadcast, they're listening heavy. They're going to be listening. They're going to know whatever as well too. And if it's not a certain way, I expect some hate. So on that note, I said we got shout out to the sisters. They came up here tonight. We got Trouble, we got Carissa, we got Aunt Lai, all in order as well too. And you ladies go ahead. Then I got to touch up on this Amar'e Stoudemire thing. Like, in fact, before I get to you ladies, let me touch up on this real quick. Because I don't know. Amar'e Stoudemire, I don't know what the hell he was smoking. I don't know what he was talking about. Ain't nobody heard from no Amar'e Stoudemire. I don't know when. And all of a sudden, this Negro pops up out of the blue, and he's just going off and just talking reckless and just talking real stupid. So, Trouble, I'm gonna go and get this article off the site. Let me know if you can hear me when I go over there, okay? Because sometimes we do have some audio issues up in these spaces. All right. Trouble, let me know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. This from the New York Post. This article is up in the actual Jumbotron. It says former Knicks star Amar'e Stoudemire rips politicians, Black Lives Matter supporters over Israel's silence. Bear with me, guys, because this actual article is kind of sliding back and forth. Former Knicks and Suns star Amar'e Stoudemire ripped politicians and Black Lives Matter supporters who've been silent following the attack on Israel. Stoudemire posted a rant on his Instagram page Sunday per Fox News, which targeted those who have not denounced the Hamas attack after it launched the biggest attack on Israel in 50 years over the weekend. Israel has declared war on Hamas. I woke up this morning with some disturbing news of Israel that Hamas kidnapping children, putting them in cages, killing women, killing the elderly. That's some that's cowardly, Stoudemire said. For all y'all Black Lives Matter supporters who ain't saying nothing, well, let me figure out exactly what's happening before I say anything. F you. Figure out what? It ain't never been cool to kidnap kids and put them in cages. It ain't never been cool to kill women and elderly. No matter where you from, what you represent, what tribe you from, it don't matter. It ain't never been a cool thing. That ain't never been nothing nobody supported. And then you go and hide and put the kids in front of you as a barricade. That's some coward luck. Let's see what else he was saying. Stoudemire, who played for the Knicks from 2010 to 2015, received Israeli citizenship in March of 2019 and completed his conversion to Judaism in 2020, according to the Times of Israel. He signed a 2-year contract in Jerusalem in 2016 before joining another team in Tel Aviv in 2020. One second. All you politicians who have something to say on the contrary, I see you. F you, all you Black Lives Matter who always have something to say and always supported everything else, and you quiet now. F you too, Stoudemire said. Only place in the world where I can go study the Torah and eat kosher food. Only place in the world. Some coward shit, dog. All y'all supported F you. On my mama, we don't respect none of y'all for that. Peace. Okay, so now we got to bring mom up in it as well too. So yeah, I don't know what Amar'e Stoudemire was talking about, but okay. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, Newstoter. I hope you're doing well this evening, brother. And shout out to everybody in the room. Much love to you. Amare needs to shut the whole hell up. He's on a Negro self rant. You know, this is about himself. Oh, I can't eat at the places I love to eat, and you getting that Israeli money, and that's the only reason why you're speaking out the way you're speaking out now. Otherwise, you could then sit back in the corner shutting the whole hell up too, which is what you need to do now. Sit back and shut the whole hell up, because you sound like a whole paid clown, and it's tiresome. It's 2023, and we still got certain black folks that feel like it's okay to come out wagging their fingers at the black community. Like, if you don't shut up before I take that finger and shove it up, you know, it's ridiculous. And I don't know why he felt the need to come out. I know why he felt the need, because he's over there. He has citizenship. He's making that Israeli money, and he needs to put on a show. Well, brother, you tap dance real good, and we see you. You know, we also don't care about you. You know, and the black organizations who's coming out, speaking out, well, thank you, black organizations, for coming out and putting your stations. Now we know who's getting Israeli money. Now we know who's on the take, and why you all are not necessarily doing things for the black community as you should be doing, because you're getting Israeli money. You're bought, you're paid for. You're bought and you're paid for not to do a damn thing for the black community, but only to look like you're doing something through your symbolism and the symbolic acts that you put forth. It's no wonder that we're continuing to receive a non-neglect from you black organizations, because now we're following the money trail. So thank you for your statement, Reverend Al, and all you other organizations that want to come out, and Israel. Israel talking about, well, we're going to treat them like the dogs, you know, like the human dogs that they are. Israel is just upset because Hamas attacked the first, you know, because generally they're the first ones to go on the attack. But see, now they're on the defense, when generally they're on the offense, which is what Black America we're going to have to do. We're going to have to learn to go on the offense, you know, instead of being on defense all the damn time. Hamas did exactly that. They went on the offense and they attacked first. So now you're going to call the people human dogs. Well, you've been human dogs the whole goddamn time. And Sister Taxation had a post earlier that said it beautifully. For a group of people who was genocided to turn around and genocide another group of people, that's some demonic shit. And so you want everybody to stand by your side as you genocide another group, but then when they attack your ass first for a change, now you crying foul. And the United States with her two-headed whorish ass, she always playing both sides against the middle. She be funding all of these different rebel groups and all of these other nations, just coming back to bite her in the goddamn ass. This whole situation is irritating for me. Black people, we don't have a bone in this damn fight, from what I understand. I haven't seen it myself, but from what a whole lot of folks have been saying, I don't have empirical evidence to back it up. I got to go research it for myself, but if the rumors are true, neither groups, the Palestinians or the Israelis, are for black folks like that. They both practice anti-black tactics and antics within their groups. So we don't have a dog in this fight. Y'all do what y'all got to do, because if the bottom line is right now in today's world, our focus is on us, and I don't give a damn who don't care, who don't like it. Amar'e Stoudemire, you can shove it up your basketball playing ass, because we don't care. And I'm going to land on that. What's the hell wrong with him?
All right. Thank you, Trouble. I'm with you on that part. Like, I've never known, the Middle East has never been fun to black people. Let's be for real. The black people you have over there in Africa and stuff that go over to the Middle East get treated like slaves over there. So the whole point in that article, I know you had some people saying that, you know, when the situation with Mike Brown happened, that you had Palestinians standing with black Americans and stuff. That might have been some Palestinians, but to my knowledge, you know, they've never been exactly crazy by black people. Let's be for real. Those areas that's over there, this whole concept of the Middle East is a newer construct anyways. You know, at one time there was all Africa anyways. So this whole thing of the Middle East and this and that or whatever, no, the original people that was actually inhabiting those lands 2,000-3,000 years ago, pretty much got pushed away and drove away. Now I'll say this: I'm not condoning attacking, I'm not condoning doing anything to the kids and attacking innocent people and stuff like that. And I don't think anybody in here is condoning that as well too. But the situation is that, hey, not to be a hard ass, but we got a lot of things going on in this country right now ourselves. And one thing about the United States, and when they're getting ready to go ahead, and like I said, they've already been pumping billions in them annually into Israel, definitely in terms of military. We got things going on over here. You already pumping billions of dollars into Ukraine. Now you're finna up the ante. Now you're going to up the ante on with Israel and give them even more money as well too. And this is the same country that's forever complaining and crying and talking about they don't have the money to do this and they don't have the money to do that. The same one that sit up here and cry about raising minimum wage for people, giving people a livable wage. The same ones that cry out, we can't do this for black people, we can't do that or whatever. But you're getting ready to pump billions upon billions of dollars into this actual war that they got going over there. So like I say, I wish the best for those people. I wish I can go ahead and, resolve their issues and stuff like that. But I think it's high time the United States stops trying to play the police of the world. Worry about your own situation over here. Worry about the citizens that you got that get treated like crap over here as well too. So before you can go ahead and fix it over there, you got to fix things here first and foremost. And like I say, I'm not wishing ill will on any of those people over there. I truly feel bad for them, but they've been at war with each other, before anybody in this space was born, and they're going to be at war with each other after everybody in this space is dead too. Let me go ahead and get to Carissa. Carissa, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing?
What's up?
What's up? First and foremost, I could give a rat's that's going on over there with the Palestinians and the Israel. They don't like us. First of all, I don't care. I don't know why we supporting them. They don't like us. They've been going on for centuries over there, and it's not the Middle East. That's Africa. They just want to be separate. They want to separate everything. First and foremost. Also, another thing, I've noticed something too. If you get a chance, I know T. West is off YouTube, but he did an interview a couple of years ago with Cynthia McKinley, who was one of the congressmen at the time Obama was in office. If you get a chance, reach out to her, interview her. She said when she was talking to T. West, that you have to pledge allegiance to Israel. If you don't, they will mess with you. And I find that very interesting. Secondly, Netanyahu is under investigation for his far-right crimes. I find it highly suspect that everything is going on since they are investigating Netanyahu, and he don't like blacks. Because they're killing blacks over there in Israel. But the local news here don't want to cover it. That's something we also have to pay attention to. As for Stoudemire, after he said he found out he was Jewish and he's converted, he's been a pain in the you-know-what. And then LeBron James was at his wedding. All they was doing was hugging up and everything of the sort, saying, oh, I love my Jews. I love my Jews. Jews don't like us. Palestinians don't come like us. They come over here to our neighborhoods, corner store. They put it up. They shooting at you. They selling us bad food. Why do we need to support them? This is not our fight. This is their fight. It's been going on for decades. And I'll leave it like that. Oh, and by the way, from Professor Blackshoe even said something too. U.S. has been giving Israel money since 1970s. So that's never going to change. They run this operation.
Yeah, I mean, because that's their eyes over there in the Middle East and stuff as well too. So you don't really see a whole bunch of people running up on Israel because Israel has some serious firepower that they got from the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is bankrolling them in terms of their military and everything else like that as well too. So we provide
all of that for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everything trained with them.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying you don't how you have all in these other countries and stuff like that, and it's constant wars. And that's not to say Israel don't get into conflicts over there, because of course they do. But you know, there's very few militaries in the Middle East that can match Israel. Let's just be honest. Not only are they funded,
Maybe Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia can't match anybody. Saudi Arabia gets protected by the United States. The United States fights for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia can't do anything. Israel can actually fight because, like I say, they are training with the U.S. and they do get that funding and everything else. Saudi Arabia is just controlling it with their oil and stuff like that. That's all they doing.
You don't sleep on Iran as well.
Oh yeah, well Iran, but I'm saying, but the United States ain't partners with Iran or Iraq or some of these other nations over there, Syria and the rest of them. They are partners with Israel. Like Israel, yeah. So you have to be oh so careful, like I say, when dealing with Israel as well, because Israel has one of the top militaries, in the world because of the United States. So you just can't run up on them like that. And the fact of the matter that you had this conflict going on, that's what a lot of people kind of like shaking their head, like, yeah, you got this little fashion right here, and they going at Israel, and a lot of people are like, well, how did this happen? Because Israel, the surveillance and everything that they got in there in terms of the technology, the way they check everything on the border, and a lot of people kind of like, yeah.
Like they said, you have to pledge allegiance to them. If not, they will mess with you. Reach out to Cynthia McKinney. She will tell you because they messed with her. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Carissa. What's going on, Aunt Lai? You there, Aunt Lai? Give Aunt Lai a chance, a second.
I'm here. My phone is ghetto.
Okay.
My phone. Peace, Black Power, and Reparations. I just want to say that this to me is the bamboozle bait switch, and it just don't even make no sense to me because I'm sitting here saying, like, what do they expect Black people to do? We getting killed in our own country. We can't even get clean water. Black people literally ain't got a pot to piss in or when to throw it out. Everybody know that. Mm-hmm. So what are we supposed to say about something? Again, let them tell it we don't know anything. We're uneducated. We hoodlums. We endure. What are we supposed to say about something that ain't got nothing to do with us? And the fact that they even asking or demanding for us to say something when they know we can't even get people to acknowledge reparations or anything. I honestly think this is some psychological stuff going on. They want us to be against it. The powers that be. Remember, we already know who run Hollywood. We already know who run and who got all the money and how they do and how they treat people when you say something against them. So when we are sitting here and we on a path and we fighting for these reparations and we getting closer to it, they trying to throw a monkey wrench in there and they just trying to get us to act out of character and for us to say we are against it or whatever. I honestly feel like we shouldn't even be speaking if we're for it, against it, acknowledge it at all, because it ain't got nothing to do with us. But they are tricking us into having conversations or saying things and like Trouble setting when she said we see who getting paid by and getting the money by, but that still ain't got like us being even entertaining certain things because they're going to use that against us. And we're so close to reparations and people having meetings about reparations, and this is what I think. The traction for reparations, even though it's a debt that's been owed for centuries, and we are getting close to it, and they're like, oh shit, we can't let these Negroes get it. We got to do something, try to put something in the way, try to mess up what we got going on. Okay, let's throw this in there. Let them focus on this. Now what we look like focusing, I can't even point on the map to where this place is at. Okay, in history class, don't even ask me about nothing that got to do with it. Ain't got nothing to do with us. That's literally like it's a meme that it said Black Americans and them back there fighting and just walking around our business. That is, I feel like that's the mindset we need to have, even if we are for it or against it. And you can do whatever you want to do individually, however it is what you want, but it's a certain reason why they want certain people saying certain things in the media So then they can take that in, because we don't see, when something happens, we don't see nobody praying for Black folks. We don't see nobody asking for us on our behalf that Black people have reparations, that they stop, police stop killing. We don't see none of that. So what is it that they're actually, for us to say that we don't like it, just so they can hear us say, oh, Black people say that they don't like this, so now we're going to stop doing it. You know what? The Hamanists and the other people going to get together because the Black Americans said that they don't like what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? I feel like it's a waste of time. I feel like it's done because we are on the focus for reparations, and they trying to throw us off, and what they're doing is trying to divide us as often as possible. So they're putting these debate topics out there to try to get Black people mind off the prize. You got Suki Booty over here. You got what's her name, Sexy Red, her color, whatever over here. Black men and Black women beefing with each other. Is whatever you could throw at the thing to get us stop focus on what we focus on, because that's a day that we not talking about what we need. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that should be on our mind, especially for everything that we've been through in this country, is reparations. Everything else is cool, but if they can just throw anything at us, and then we can everybody else conflict, and everybody else go to bat for everybody else, nobody goes to bat for us for nothing. Absolutely nothing. I haven't seen nobody online that say anything for us. So why is it that we have to, well, we got to speak out for, like, we got to speak out for the civil rights for everybody? No, it's we on Black rights. You know, Mr. Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson said it. That's what we on. We on Black right now. It's reparations is it. If it ain't reparations, out of sight, out of mind, ain't got nothing to do with us. And I'm going to dock my boat and fold my chair and let y'all have at it. But I really feel like it's just to get us so that we can say we against, and then it'll be, oh, look, the Black people, that's, because remember, with hip hop, a lot of these things are distracting us from, you know what I mean, like tunnel vision. We need tunnel vision for reparations because I want my money. And I'm going to fold my chair and dock my boat.
All right. Thank you, Aunt Live. Peace to the chat over there in the YouTube land. Keith, I see you saying, how do you get in live? You have to come. It's the Twitter space where everybody's talking at. If DJ, you get a chance, can you go ahead and put that link in there? If you come over to Twitter and you come to the Newstoter profile page, we have a Twitter space going on. You can just click in that and come in and request to speak. So that's how you actually would get in on that.
Hey, only you could put the link on the YouTube live.
For real?
Yeah, until you're able to make me a moderator over there.
Oh shoot. Okay. Because I don't think I can actually do it if I actually try to copy and paste it. If I actually try to copy and paste it to the actual chat, I have to actually go to YouTube on the actual laptop as well too. So let me see what I can try to work out and do real quick as well too. Try to see if
I'm gonna post it, but they're gonna just erase it. So it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead though. Go ahead. I'm gonna try.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get to original. I'm gonna get to you original. And shout out to everybody up in the space tonight, guys. Definitely go ahead and retweet this space out. Up in the Jumbotron, there's a poll as well too. Go ahead. It's on the far right hand side. The poll says, should Black Americans worry themselves about Israel, Hamas war? Definitely go ahead and vote in that and vote in this poll right here. Go ahead and retweet it out as well too, guys. Let your followers get a chance to go ahead and vote in this poll as well too. Definitely retweet it out so as many people can see it as possible, and they can also cast a vote in there as well too. Go ahead, original.
All right, peace, Black power, and reparations. Shout out to all the sisters that have come up and spoke tonight. Great. We need some more to come up and speak too. You know, I have been telling people that I don't have a dog in this fight. This has nothing to do with Black people. As it has already been said, both groups of these people hate Black folks. I mean, I was posting stuff online showing how the racism that comes from both of these groups when it comes to Black folks, and some people was getting upset. I don't care, because there isn't anyway. See the Palestinians. Yes, they have done some stuff to support certain Black causes. They supported Black people who was fighting to end apartheid in South Africa, but it doesn't excuse you when you're not treating the Black people over there living in your country, when you're not treating them right. But I mean, over the years, I've even had some Black Muslims from this country to get upset with me because I started talking about how the Palestinians were treating black folk. See, they don't want to talk about the Arab slave trade and what the Arabs have done to black folks. So no, this has nothing to do. Like I said, this is I think this could be more of a distraction for us regarding reparations than anything else. But let's not forget. Let's look at some of their history. When W.E.B. Du Bois wrote that book, The Souls of Black Folks, he identified these people that was taking advantage of the people down in the South, and he identified them as Jews. But see, because he was part of that NAACP, maybe he took an oath or whatever, I don't know. But that Spingard and some of the other ones, they got him to change that word Jew to immigrant. So if you got the revised copy of that book and you was reading that, then you in your mind you was thinking that some immigrants came over here from somewhere and they was exploiting the situation down in the South. The immigrants were the Jews. That's who that was. So let's not even let's not lie about that. And I remember, like when I was in high school, I had this class called Current Events, and I remember how, because I was brainwashed with religion and everything else, and it was some things that was going on with the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, and the Israelis, and I took the position of the Israelis because of religious belief, and that's why they need you to believe in what they're peddling, so that you will always side with them. I didn't know a great deal at the time. I did not know a great deal about the Muslim, but I just knew that since they said these were this God's chosen people, and because of that, I sided with them. But as a grown ass black man, hell no, I don't side with them. I don't side with either one. And let's look at some of their. Okay, I had mentioned this before. This guy named Mordecai Manuel Noah. He was a staunch Confederate. He supported slavery. He started the minstrel. Y'all know those minstrels in blackface and stuff like. He started that, and he was of the Jewish belief. And you had another one, Judah P. Benjamin. He was a staunch Confederate. And I think there was a book out about the Jews and the Confederacy or something like that. Now, let's not forget, y'all remember that President Nasser of Egypt back in the 60s, back in the 40s, I think it was. He said, when y'all left, you were black, but you came back and you was white. And let's look and see, we have to put out, let me say this. There's this guy, his name is Milton Grafman. Remember when those 3 civil rights workers were killed down in Mississippi? And he said, what this guy said, he said the hair of one Jew is worth more than 1,000 black people. See, they think we forget the things that they've said and done, to us. And I remember back in the 90s when the reparation topic had jumped up, and I was in California, and so somebody said something about, well, maybe we can get the Jews to help us or something. And they said, hell no. And they got a hit piece, and I would advise everybody, I'm still like reading and annotating this thing. This is the article that came to my attention. It was put out last year, June of 2022, and it's called Black Anti-Semitism in America, Past and Present. You see, it's discussing how, like when Malcolm X back in the 60s, how he started telling us the truth about these people and that they are not our friend. And what they're trying to do is put this this so-called anti-Semitism, saying that it's basically what they're trying to say is coming from black folks more than anybody else. And they're saying that black people are siding, with the Palestinians and the Arabs as far as who they decided that they're going to support. And when you look at this, you see like people like informant agent Al Sharpton and a number of others, that are out there stumping for, the Israelis and this, that, and whatever. But look, you have no influence with me. And, and like I posted on that guy's page, whatever the basketball player's name, I don't even know what his name is. I posted an article showing how the Israelis are extremely racist towards the Ethiopians. And why aren't you addressing this? See, these people are bought and paid for a buffoon. And they will go out there and do the bidding of these people, for like an eighth of a penny on the dollar. So we can't trust any of them. And I know I don't. So, truth be told, none of these people like us, there was a black lady here in Atlanta. She had posted something, Atlanta supports the Palestinians. I grabbed one of the articles showing how the Palestinians are racist towards the black Palestinians. I said, well, like I said to her in that post, I live in Atlanta and I don't support the Palestinians. And I left that. I think I left 2 articles showing how they're racist towards black people. No, as Dr. Clark told us back in the 90s, we don't have any friends. And not only that, we got to be concerned about the dumbass folks like the Al Sharpton and others who will stand up and throw us under the bus and go out there and protect everybody else. So, like I said, we don't have any friends, and it's time that more people understand that, and so we can, move forward. But people, I would suggest that you go out. One last thing I do want to share with you too. There is a report. It's called the 13th annual. Hold on for a minute. It's called a 13th annual. It's called a 13th annual report for the Americans for Anti-Slavery. It's the Anti-Slavery Society. And in this report, they talked about these people who claim that they're Jews. And they said in this report that there isn't anything analogous to slavery as it exists in this country and related to even the so-called ancient Israelites. Now, these people who claim that they was enslaved in Kemet, and then they said they left Kemet, and they said they wandered around the desert for 40 years. And I'm like, okay, so if you do a search, like for how many miles from Cairo, Egypt to Jerusalem, it's only about like 300 something miles. So you mean to tell me y'all couldn't walk 300 miles? You couldn't decide you were going to split up and go 3 ways, but you wasn't going back to Egypt and find where you was going? Give me a damn break. And then they did some people have done a study where they did some archaeological research where they said they wandered in the desert for 40 years. They didn't find anything. We know all these people are lying. And they they want us to get out there and fight their battle, and what both sides do. Everybody wants us to come out there and fight their battle because of our pain and suffering. And they want us, and they want to benefit from our pain and suffering. But no, you are on your own. I don't give a rat's behind about either one of them. You get what you get, and it will be what it's going to be. Because until these people stand up for us for reparations, I don't give a damn. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm gonna land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Appreciate it. Keith, I see you up in the space. I sent you an invite. So if you want to come up here and speak, then you can go ahead and just accept that invite, or you can request to speak. You request to speak and you come on up here and you can speak as well too, guys. Like I say, make sure you guys go ahead and tweet out that actual that poll. Let me see how many votes we got in the poll so far. We got 159 votes. Okay. So it says, should Black Americans worry themselves about the Israel-Hamas war? 89% say no. 11% says yes. Right now we got 163 votes, guys. So definitely seems like more people is actually voting as well too. For those that can in the Jumbotron, we have the YouTube channel up here as well, too, guys. That's on the left-hand side. Definitely, like I said today, we hit over 1,000 subscribers, so definitely go ahead. For those that have not subscribed, definitely go ahead and subscribe. I see we got a bunch of people in the space that's not actually following us on Twitter as well, too. So make sure you go ahead and follow Newstoter on Twitter as well. Follow the host and the co-host here on Twitter. Definitely, like I say, for those that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, while the space is going on, you can actually subscribe as well. We have the Funded Socially link up in the Jumbotron as well, too. That is a Black-owned social media site that the Black majority state owns. That's on the left-hand side, guys. You can go ahead. I tweeted that out. You can go ahead and click that link, and you can actually go ahead and become an actual member on Funded Socially as well, too. So definitely go ahead. It's a Black-owned social media site. Support Black business. Go ahead and get you a profile on there today, guys. Definitely go ahead and support that and get your profile. For those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, the Venmo and PayPal is up in the Jumbotron. For my people on YouTube, the Cash App is on the actual screen, and the actual Venmo and PayPal is up in the description as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to real quick. Let me get to Harriet Tubman. Let me go ahead and get to Harriet Tubman. Go ahead, Harriet, and unmute your mic.
Peace, power, reparations, family. Yes, like my whole thing with Israel and Palestine, bro, is that's a psyop for Black Americans. Like our plate so full right now. We focus on lineage-based reparations, getting an anti-Black hate crime bill, gatekeeping our culture, delineation, and closing that goddamn border. That's what we focus on right now. We don't got no time to be helping nobody else. Because when do other people have time to help us? Never. Nobody crossing the border over here to help us. Everybody coming over here to take from everything that our ancestors built, take from our neighborhoods, and nothing's being given back. These people come over here, they're able to give remittance back to their countries and back to their countries in their homelands. They take $150 billion and send it back to their homelands. But they come in our neighborhoods, building stores, building all these things, and none of that is generating any type of wealth or anything for our communities. We need to focus on us right now. This is a pivotal time in American history. Not only a pivotal time in American history, but a pivotal time in Black American history specifically. We have to get reparations now, or we're like, this is gonna be over for us. We're gonna be stuck in this situation, and I'll be damned if I leave this fight to the next generation, because the things that we're talking about right now and the wave that we're on right now is so nuanced, and we can't afford to leave this to the next generation. So I'm gonna land here to say that that's not our fight. We need to focus on us, and we're headed in the right direction. And you could tell because they're throwing everything at us to try to get us not to be talking about and focusing on what we're focusing on. Great show.
Thank you, family. Appreciate it as always. Thank you. It's been a little minute since I heard you in the space, but thank you for coming up and speaking tonight. Let me go ahead and get to 666 8T. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, shout out to you, host and co-host, everybody else in the room. Yeah, I was just pretty much coming up to double down on what Harry said, because me and brother Nate Turner down there, we was in the space with Palestinian space, and they don't understand that this war against them is pretty much an ethnic war, and they're getting wiped out the map by primarily white people and everything. Hell, the one Palestinian dude who was running this place, he's sitting over here in America worried about his people over there, and he's telling us that it's not it has nothing to do with race or religion or anything like that. These people are confused, y'all. So we have to understand, like, this ain't our fight in the least bit. Like, we got our own fight going on. We need to mind our own Black business. We keep to what we got going on, y'all. And that's basically all I got to say. But also, y'all make sure y'all out there making sure y'all, getting y'all 2A rights up, because they still gonna be on our ass regardless of what's going on, across seas or over here. They still gonna stay on us.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. I agree with you 100%. You're right. We got our own fight to worry about. But here's the thing: you see some of these so-called black leaders. You see the NAACP. You see Al Sharpton. You saw the CBC, the Urban League. Everybody's made a comment, made a statement about coming out to defend Israel and taking this side or that side or whatever. So, I think the average Joe Smo like you and me that's just living day to day trying to get by, whatever, we don't hold any ill will towards those people over there. And we don't want to see innocent people killed or whatever. But at the same time, innocent people over in this country has been killed from the time this country's been founded, before it was even founded. So, we have our own issues that we need to worry about over here as well, too. And the same country that's always talking about they're in the financial bind and they can't do this and they can't do that. Well, we saw the tens of billions of dollars they was coughing up for Ukraine in terms of just military spending, and also in terms of actual in terms of just cold hard cash as well too. Yeah, most of that money was for military spending, but they was giving them also money as well too. So you're talking about Israel, who's always got money from the United States. Expect that number to significantly increase now that they're in this war over here. So, more money leaving the country and going to other people, and less money actually helping the people over here. And I know some people may think that's selfish and this and that or whatever, but let's be for real. The United States picks and chooses which conflict they're going to actually intervene in. There's conflicts all over the world going on that they're not sitting up here and they're not going ahead. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to help this side out. We're going to help that side. Let it be like right now. Haiti has a situation going on over there. The conflict over there in Niger and some of these black countries and stuff like that, they're not picking like, well, we're going to go over here and we're going to try to end this, and we're going to fight on the side of justice or whatever. And if they do go over there, it's simply pretty much to go ahead and put it and install a puppet so he can do that bidding. So, hey, to each is his own. No hard feelings, and definitely don't want to see a bunch of innocent people getting killed and stuff like that. But like I say, there's not a continent on this earth that's not in some kind of turmoil where you have a conflict or war or battle or something that's waging on. So it's like they pick and choose when they're gonna intervene. They pick and choose who's going to be the winner. They pick and choose how much they're going to supply this person with. And at the same time, one hand washes another. So they're not doing it for free, not the kindness of their heart. If they pick you and they choose you, then hey, you're going to be doing something in return for them. So shout out to you, 666. Thank you for coming up here tonight. Let me get to my girl Trouble. Keith, if you want to speak to, just go ahead and raise your hand after Trouble. I'll get to you as well too, Keith.
Total, can you hear me? I got the space early. I don't know if I'm in the Matrix or if you're in the Matrix.
Oh, you're in the Matrix?
Do I sound like I'm in the Matrix? Because I don't know. I got kicked out the space earlier.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Word. I was rolling in my yard, so it might have switched over from cellular to Wi-Fi. That's why. But God, I lost my train of thought just that fast. It's sort of, to me, it's sort of like religion. With religion, white folks have kept a chokehold on black folks, and they use it against us in a form of control. And so, to a certain degree, it feels like every time something goes down, people want to know if Black America stands with this group and that group, is because they need to make sure that they still have mental control over us, to where we still hurt and bleed and cry for whatever it is that they're championing, whether it has anything to do with us or not. And so by saying, well, Black folks, you need to get on board, and I need to hear y'all speaking out, speaking for Israel, you need to make sure that, that brainwashing that you put on our people is still in existence. At least that's how I think about it. Another thing I think about is, I wonder, is America funding Israel, or is Israel funding America? Because it seems like America's always real quick to do Israel's bidding. And even though it looks like America is giving Israel all of these billions of dollars per year, of course, we know that she has her military bases all set up there, and so you got to pay for that. But at the same time, it's odd to me when we think about reparations, because Aunt Lai said something about, this is to throw us off track of the reparations, and to a degree that feels true. But in my mind, what I'm thinking about is when people were brought over here as slaves, Israel had a large hand in that. The Jews had a large hand in that. And so the slaves made America a lot of money. It made America what America is today. Does America owe the Jews? Is that what they're still paying for? All of these billions of dollars are reparations money going over to Israel every year because, we're still making them money. So they're still banking off of that. There's so many different things that come into play when I'm thinking about the relationship between Israel and America in respect to us as Black Americans. That just makes me wonder, if, because we say that this has absolutely nothing to do with us, but to a certain degree, maybe it does. And maybe it does for the simple fact because of the reparations. You're not going to pay a group of people money when you're still making money off of them, when we're still chattel, when we're still property, when we're currency that power not only this nation but other nations as well. And so if the Jews and Americans have a collaboration with each other, maybe that's the collaboration point right there. That's just my thought. One last thing I wanted to say was, it's funny. I remember several months back, there was a lot of white folks holding spaces and even coming into our spaces, and they were titling their space FBA and whatever they wanted to title it to get Black people to come into their spaces, where they were really trying to get us on their side to so-called fight the Jews, and sort of like their own little, proxy war, because they had a problem with the Jews, so they wanted Black folks to be upset with them, and they wanted, us to fight the Jews, especially when all of that Kanye stuff and everything with the basketball player Kyrie had went down. They were going hard on it. But it's funny that they're super silent now, and not even so much that they're super silent, but I see some of those same faces in the spaces that are oh my God, look at what they're doing to Israel. We stand behind Israel now. So, it's always a grip going on, and people are always trying to draw Black Americans into their grip. And so that's kind of enlightening to me right there. I mean, I always knew it was a grift, but to see these same people now saying, oh, well, we got to back Israel, but just a few months ago, you were trying to draw Black people into your bullshit that you had going against the Jews. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw those thoughts out there.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. Let me give a shout out real quick to Cognitive. Cognitive, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Shout out to Cognitive. Keith, I know you came up here. Did you want to? I know you want to. You was on YouTube and you want to speak. Did you want to add something? You there, Keith?
You got to unmute your mic, Keith.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've been in a space before. You know how to. You can unmute your mic, Keith. You may be having some issues with that. I know you have to. You have to get permissions to allow your mic on Twitter. I don't know if you've ever been in a space before or not, but we can definitely come back to you. Okay. All right. While Keith is I don't know if Keith is there or not, but while Keith is trying to get it straightened out, we'll go back to the hands up in the air. Go ahead, 6668.
Shout out to everybody again. I forgot to mention too that when I was in that space, when they brought up the fact.
Hey, 666, you kind of low. You got some earbuds in or something?
No, my fault. I'm in the truck driving. I'm out here trying to get this money. Minding my own Black business. trying to make sure we pressing forward out here. But hopefully y'all can hear me better. Can you hear me better?
You still kind of low. Is there any way you can turn the volume up any louder, possibly? Or
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little bit better. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, my fault. I'm out here driving and everything, so I can't really have the phone on me too much. But in that space, when Nate had mentioned the Jews and Palestine thing, that one Palestine dude was talking about, yeah, I'm in California and I walk around and I get, treated like I'm white and everything. But then in the same sentence, he was like, I don't want to make this about ethnicity, like it's about ethnic groups. And then in that same sentence said that it's black Jews over there bombing his people. Like these people really have it in their minds that, black people are the problem. That black people are the ones doing these things to them. Like it's crazy out here, y'all.
Hey, real talk. And somebody on YouTube, Candace says Israel has never spoke up for Black American people getting killed here in America. So I mean, hey, you can't really refute what she's saying right there either. So let me go ahead and get to Ely the Riot. Ely the Riot, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What up, though? What up? Can y'all hear me?
You're a little bit low, but go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
About the same, but go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's we doing something black folks didn't do 60 years ago.
Now you kind of got you kind of went a little bit lower, Ely. You got your
I got you on speakerphone, but
okay, that's better. That's better now.
Okay, we doing something. Our parents and grandparents could. Well, I'll say our grandparents could do 65, 70 years ago. And that's actually speak up without getting busted in the head by these white folks. You know what I'm saying? So I know we all in our little today time, but I realize what happened no less than 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So this reparations thing is like a focal point on our offense. You know what I mean? Now, black folks, during Martin Luther King, Malcolm X era would have been like, we want reparations, delineation. Because they politically want to be African, but we want reparations, we want what's ours, blah, blah, blah. They would have been met with hostility. Major hostility, worse than what they got back then. You know what I'm saying? It would have been, they wouldn't have been marching for civil rights, they'd have been marching for, this is our area, we building it up, and you won't attack it no more. You know what I'm saying? But right now, you got an opportunity to build. You know what I'm saying? But our generation was raised in that crab mentality era. You know, we're not using social media platforms and television and blah, blah, blah to unite economically. We're not united economically yet. You know what I'm saying? So right now we do have an opportunity to get on the offense. And this Palestine thing, they got nothing to do with us. Never did have nothing to do with us. They don't want to be married. They men don't want our men marrying their women. They will take our women and make illegitimate children. So they're like the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you touching their women unless you're a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? If you do get an Arab girl, she's fat. Don't nobody want her no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here in Detroit. I see a lot of the Arabs dating, street, the lawyers and the doctors and the engineers and whatnot. They want, you gotta be an outstanding person to get another racist woman. While their people are dogs, doodle face people, and they getting our best people. They gotta live stuff. You know what I'm saying? So right now that stuff got nothing to do with us. Right now we have an opportunity to get on the offense part of this game right now. Like my man said a couple speakers ago, we ain't gonna survive. I'm telling you though, we're not gonna. Our kids, like, we're good, but our kids they're gonna get it handed to them in about 2 years. They're gonna get handed to them. You You know what I'm saying? Your daughter, your granddaughter, your grandson, they're gonna get busted in the head by all these immigrants and these white folks. That's gonna these white folks and these immigrants that they're bringing over here to do the white man's dirty work. So y'all better just prepare for what's coming. You know what I'm saying? We call it in the day, but think about this chess game. What's the next move? You see the board, you see your opponent. He might move that bishop. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So our kids are in danger right now when they become our age. It's like the world changed from 60 years ago to now. It's gonna change 60 years from now. They're gonna be in spaceships back here. Electrical energy. You know what I'm saying? So you better take advantage of it now, and this ain't got nothing to do with us. Why risk your life? Why people put themselves in danger for another man's business? They ain't do it for us. You know what I'm saying? Speak up. Say, hey, they ain't got like y'all doing right now. I'm sitting back listening to y'all laugh and smile. This ain't got nothing to do with us. I don't want no musty Palestine hairy woman. I don't want no musty old Arab woman. I don't want no goop Asian woman. Let's let it be known. Black is beautiful. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Start it all over again. No, that's about it, though.
All right. Appreciate you. Definitely. Nice to hear from you tonight. Keith, are you there? Keith, let me see if we can get you up here because I know you came over from YouTube, so I want to try to get you up here. I know you want to speak tonight. Keith, are you able to unmute your mic? Let's see if Keith, can you if you can hear me, put up a hand sign or something, put up some kind of emoji, let us know that you can see. I'm not sure if this is the first time you've been in one of the spaces or not, but we definitely want to try to get you up because I know you came from over in YouTube and you want to speak.
Hey, Twitter updated today. That could be a reason why some of these folks don't be having like certain things on their thing.
Hold on, I think he might be off of key. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm off mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm fine. How y'all fellas doing?
We're doing pretty good.
I was just, man, I appreciate your channel. I just happened to come up there and I was like, hey, man. I sat and looked at it at work. And I appreciate your content. Make sure I subscribe to you.
Definitely appreciate that.
I'm a big NBA fan, and Amar'e Stoudemire is the biggest buster in history. I want y'all to remember, he jumped out there. He didn't even defend Kyrie Irving for the things that he did. And a lot of people don't know, he went over there and played in Israel and called this, he joined that religion. But the biggest problem with that is, fellas, how you going to come back and put that whole meal on us, but I ain't see you out here at no way, shape, or form doing the George Floyd thing. But you want to bring up Black Lives Matter, which a lot of us don't even support. So we don't need this out here caping stuff. He need to be called out on that. That's some trash activity. You out here put a cape on somebody that you went over and played ball with, and then you can't defend your own brother here in the United States. That absolutely, positively you have no validity, and he pulled it out of his behind when he said it. Hello?
Yes, sir. We were just letting you go. Yeah, we were just letting you go.
I mean, you gotta look at this buck dancing back alley buffoon stuff. We can't get nothing done like that. I'm in my 50s, and I appreciate that. I watched that whole thing on hip hop because I got brothers that's 7 years older than me, and they came back with the LPs or the little singles and this, that, and the other. When we put records, we had records with needles. I know these people lying. So that's just for your earlier content. But I had a problem with Amar'e Stoudemire. He ought to be ashamed of himself. He jumped out the window with somebody he don't even know. And that has nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. Nothing. I have not seen that brother, even when he played in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was a incident there where a cop shot the black dude, and he had nothing to say. When he played in New York, he had nothing to say. So people like that need to be getting canceled and called out on their mess, because a lot of people that really know the gist of things, be like, hey man, I can call you out on your mess. And I want y'all all to remember that Kyrie Irving incident where he didn't even say anything wrong. He just liked the something that was selling on Amazon, they still making money off of. And he came out and jumped out the window for something just because he went over there and played in that league and made a little bit of money and called himself Jewish. Now all of a sudden, he's some kind of, I don't know, what do they call it? He's some kind of martyr or something. No, man, we ain't doing that no more.
He's a labor home.
Yeah, I don't even think that's Captain Sable. That's Captain Sable. No. He trash cans for that. And he know it. And then if you, like I said, if you NBA dudes and older dudes, you be like, hey, man, we don't do nothing like that. We don't do nothing like that. And it's about time we start calling people out on it, calling down to the carpet, so to speak, and young ladies, I'm sorry, with all due respect. They gotta start calling them out on this. This minstrel, put it this way, everybody on this panel. I'm an older dude, but I was what they call a oops baby. And I'm in my 50s. My father fought in the Second World War. My mom was born in 1929. I have a whole different ideology other than the civil rights movement. They wasn't built like that back then. My older sisters and brothers got that kind of mentality. But somewhere along the line, they ain't pick up the same thing. They didn't get the memo like I did. So I talk to them all the time. My sister right now, here in Florida, is a big part of the Democratic Party. And I go at her every day. Every day, like, man, we ain't doing that no more. We're not doing that anymore. So what we are doing, with people like myself and y'all, we making a bigger move than what y'all think we doing. Don't let mainstream media talk to you about what the numbers is, or this is, they might need to pivot this. Listen, they trying to bail out the Titanic with them. It's done already been done. They know it. So what we got to do is say, hey, we got to put our foot on the gas and say, okay, give us what we asked for. Otherwise, you gone. You gone. Because the numbers, they failing with this immigration. They want to put that out there and say, hey, y'all keep doing this. We're going to keep bringing these illegal immigrants over here. Only problem is they did it so fast they didn't pay attention to what's going on. These people flooding into their community. I see it down here in Florida. So just be vigilant, y'all. It's going to happen. And stand on your square. Stand on your square. And Amar'e Stoudemire is beyond busted. Beyond busted.
Yeah.
I wish I knew his damn his Twitter page. I'd be like, man, really? You gonna tell us to pick a side? No, you pick a side.
Yes.
That's it, boy. Y'all got me scared. Everybody got quiet.
Hey, everybody just listen to you go ahead. Like, hey, that's one thing. When you come on the space, man, especially in this space, we're going to let you go ahead and talk while you talking or whatever. Now,
I appreciate that. I hope y'all think I'm running out here with a black fist and a shirt on. Nah. What I'm saying is, I'm an inquisitive person. I'm also an intelligent person. And it's come a time when we got to stand on our square, y'all. Got to. This foolery going on with people, got to call it out. Got to call it out. And then one more thing before I get off there, and I'll land my plane. Homie, that dude got on here earlier talking about, that was yesterday. But I just, like I said, when I saw your broadcast on the Humble, and I sent you that, I said, yeah, I subscribed because I didn't even know you existed. And I say that with all due respect. But that dude get on there and talk about, because you can't read a contract, or we can't go and get, see how he deflected that? I want to know that dude's name so I can say, don't ever buy an insurance policy from this snake oil salesman. And I guarantee you that dude is not from the United States. Go back 1 or 2 generations, I guarantee you he ain't.
Yes, sir. He's definitely a clown character. He's been leaving a lot of tweets and stuff today. He's still actually upset about it. He's still, as his space has been going on. Yeah.
But look, that ain't working no more.
Yeah, he's upset.
No more, man. We see you like a plain glass window. Ain't nobody buying that mess. I wish I'd have jumped on the man. I'd cook him like a Cornish hen. Get out of here with that.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to drop down. I'm on here. Make sure I got your PayPal. So keep me in mind. And y'all, I'm going to sit back and listen. Sorry about the phone call earlier.
Oh, no, you good, man.
I was bringing a lot of people on your space, and they were trying to figure out how to get on there, and then they called. I had to jump down. That's what happened.
No problem, man. Definitely. And now you know, like I say, this we stream the actual Twitter space into the actual YouTube channel and stuff like that. So normally Monday through Thursday we do a space and we stream it. We do a live stream on the actual StreamYard with it as well too. So now you know, definitely go ahead and definitely make sure you if you can't catch it live, you can always catch the actual you catch the actual broadcast on the YouTube channel. And I appreciate you subscribing. Like I said, we small on here. We're growing. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned Black American news curation media platform today in America. If you haven't had a chance, go to Newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news in Black America. So definitely visit the website, Newstoter.com. Stay up to date. You'll find all kind of articles. We curate news from other leading Black sources, Black media. So you can go ahead and we'll give you the excerpts on Newstoter, and it'll take you to the actual parent page where you can read the entire article. So yeah, definitely, Keith, I appreciate you coming in here. I appreciate you dropping some knowledge for the space as well too. And anytime you want to come through.
I'll drop down to everybody on here. Have a good evening. And we got to stand on our square, y'all. Got to stand on our square. And I appreciate the opportunity. Good evening. I'm going to sit back here and listen.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming up. And
thank you.
What this brother said was 100% about Amar'e Stoudemire. Amar'e Stoudemire has been quiet as kept his entire career. Now all of a sudden, this joker done gained citizenship over there in Israel. He done converted his religion. He's talking about all of the fine food he can eat over there and this and that or whatever. Like I said, not one Black person wished any harm on Israel. And to sit up here and talk about what Black people need to do and call, and basically the Black Lives Matter. Let's be honest about that. That was a way of him not calling Black people out directly. So he used Black Lives Matter to go ahead and really call out all Black people. That's what he really was doing. He was hiding behind the Black Lives Matter little brand. Yeah, to call out all of the Black people. Now when he was over there playing ball, because I can guarantee from 2016 or whatever they say, and all the way to 2020 or whatever, I guarantee there was Black people getting their heads blown off in this country and everything else. First off, he wasn't sitting up there saying anything about that when he was over there. He wasn't demanding Israel to stand up for the rights of Black people in this country. No, he went over there like a lot of basketball players do. And not only that, Amar'e Stoudemire was a NBA All-Star. So to finish your career overseas, I really don't even understand that. But nonetheless, I guess he wanted to keep playing. He wanted to make some money. He made plenty of money in the NBA, but he decided to go over there and play over there in Israel. Okay, fine. You weren't holding the Israelis to a certain level of saying, hey, you need to go ahead and stand up for black people in America. Y'all just cowards and this and that or whatever. Because first off, if you said that in Israel, you would have got yourself checked right then and there. So no, you want to go ahead over here and you want to start blaming black people like it's our fault what happened over there. Like we had the military, we did this, we did that or whatever. And we already saw that there was a number of black organizations and groups and everything else, politicians who did say something about it. So like I said, I don't even understand what that was. I don't understand what the fake rage was about. You were so upset. You going on a cursing spree and this and that or whatever, man. Please take that someplace else. Nobody wants to hear that. Like I say, the entire time you played ball, you had nothing whatsoever to say about that. You stayed away. You weren't no political person. Let's just be honest. You say what you want to about LeBron, and LeBron, people say that he waited late in his career to start talking about politics. He talked about it more than Amar'e Stoudemire. Amar'e Stoudemire was never no political activist. He was never nobody to mix in social economic issues, and all of a sudden he's saying this and he's saying that. So please, and you said after you retired too, okay? After you retired, now you got all this to say about black people and do this, and like I said, the whole Black Lives Matter thing. That was a nice way of talking about black people. You hid behind the Black Lives Matter, but you really was talking about black people in general in this country. So we're gonna keep it at that. I saw my girl Rera, she had her hand up. Real quick, guys, for those, like I said, that can contribute on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Rerod, you had your hand up, but you put it down. I know you could be driving. You driving, or you okay to talk? I know Rerod be in the car whipping it, so she might be whipping behind the wheel. She might not have time to talk. But we'll come back to the sister because I think she up in traffic whipping it around and whatnot. So Ree, when you get a chance, come back up here and speak on it. Go ahead and get back to the hands then. FBA Goddess, I see she came up here. FBA Goddess, whenever you want to speak, your new speaker, raise your hand and I get to you as well too, because I definitely want to hear what some of the new speakers got to say. Okay, there go my girl FBA Goddess. FBA Goddess, go ahead and unmute your mic. Then Rera, I see you came back up here too, so go ahead, FBA Goddess.
Hey, I was just gonna say, as far as when it comes to Black Americans, we don't give a fuck about what's going on over there. That ain't none of our business. They always button into everybody's business and expect that we're gonna care about it. They don't have nothing to do with us. And yeah, the weather was nice today. That's what I think about it. I don't really care. Now, as far as, well, let's see, I ain't got my glasses on, so I'm trying to see what it say. But yeah, I was just came up here to say that part. I don't care about what's going on over there. I don't care about nothing except for what's going on with Black America. That's all I care about. If you're talking about that, then hey, I'm your girl. I'll talk to you all day, every day. But when it comes to other people's mess, I don't give a fuck. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miss FBA Goddess. Make sure you vote in that poll up there too. It's on the far right-hand side. So go ahead and cast a vote up in that poll as well. Let me go ahead and get to Rera. Rera, you back?
I'm back. You're right. I was going through a little dead zone. But peace and blessings to the family, Newstoter, DJ, and the family, of course. And Keith. Hey, Keith, welcome to the family, bro. This is what we do, okay? It was really nice to meet you. As far as this whole war, it honestly, it really doesn't have anything to do with us. Granted, I feel bad that people are dying and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I do. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad about them dying, but ultimately, we over here dying. You know what I mean? And I feel like we've just been under the thumb and living in the belly of the beast for way too long. Like, it takes something like George Floyd to happen for the rest of the world to get involved. And it's like, these aren't like solo incidents. This stuff happens to us all the time, you know. And I found what I think was Baby Sister, what she said, or no, I think it was Trouble. What she said is that they never come to our defense, and it's true. They don't. No one really ever comes to our defense or tries to help. Or I mean, I just don't see it. I stand with Black Americans ever, And as far as trying to make us stand or shame us into standing, that's over. We have way bigger fish to fry. I just feel like it's really unfortunate that it took us this long as people, to realize which direction we need to go. But now that we all got the memo, we're pushing forward. And so that's just what it is as far as Black Americans are concerned. We're really not worried about anything else. No, I don't want to wake up and see babies dying. I don't want to, but I wake up and see Black babies dying all the time in America. And so to say we're desensitized is like the least. That's putting on really small. As far as like desensitized to all of the murders and the genocide and stuff like that. And I also find it really interesting that Israel were supposed to be genocided out. They went through all this stuff, but they're okay with genociding the Palestinians. How are you gonna have this whole thing that you've been genocided and you got to claim to this oppression? You know what I mean? Just period, point blank. They're not oppressed. And they're talking about the Africans and the Black people and the Palestinians and Israel. They're the problem. We're the problem. Black people are the problem around the globe because we don't want to be oppressed anymore. So yes, you're going to get that smoke. Yes, it's happening globally, okay? Because we're tired. We're not your mules. We don't want to do this anymore. And there's nothing anywhere that says that we have to. So they just need to get used to it. I mean, once the Black Americans wake up, everybody's going to wake up after that. We ask for reparations. Everybody else asks for reparations. We want our own. Everybody else wants their own. That's just what it is. It's not because we're terroristic or whatever. We're the oppressed people on this planet. And it's crazy that we're even oppressed. We're the majority. We are the majority people on this planet. And we're oppressed. And they're upset that we're mad because we're oppressed. Like, make it make sense, I feel like Palestine maybe have like a little rights to what they're doing, Well, nobody wants to be genocided out, of their country or whatever. But they don't really rock with us like that. Israelis, they don't really rock with us like that. So yeah, absolutely, I'm neutral. I'm neutral in this fight. I have nothing to say, nothing to do. I'm not posting it. I'm not posting comments. I'm not doing any of that. You guys fight your own battle, okay? Because every time something bad happens, if you want to be associated as an oppressed people behind you, hold your own nut. We're not doing it. That's over. We communities to build, okay? So I'll land there. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Peace and reparations to the room.
All right. Thank you, Miss Rira. I see we got my girl Tata up here. It's been a hot minute since Tata spoke. What's up, Tata? How you doing?
Hey, family. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hi.
Been a minute.
I'm shy, so I don't like to speak all the time, but I just listen to everybody. But so Israel, I could care less about that. I feel nothing. They're getting killed, blown up, whatever. Same thing happened to our ancestors. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Philadelphia. I feel nothing at all. My ancestors speak through me. I grew up very close with my grandparents on my mom's side and father's side. We're from Florida, born and raised. Florida.
Shout out to Florida.
So,
shout out to Florida. I ain't want to jump in. Shout out to Florida. That's where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah. And I'm from Central Florida, like Polk County area, Winter Haven, Lakeland, Haines City, Lake Wales. And I wanted to comment on Amare. He's from Lake Wales, which is a town over from where my family is from. And we have never heard anything from this guy. All of his family, the Stoudemires, they live right in Lake Wales, Florida, right? In Polk County.
and I've never heard anything from him. Now his brother Hazel, we used to hear from him all the time. See him driving in the latest cars, holding all this, money. He ripped to him, but he was a powderhead, very bad, very abusive to women. My cousin on my father's side, Portia, she have a daughter by Hazel Stoudemire's brother, and one of my sister's classmates, she have a daughter by his brother too. But we never heard from this guy. Never heard anything he did here in the community. If you go to Lake Wales looks like Mayberry. They don't want to change, the town there. It's just very it just looked very bad there. But he have never done anything that I've heard. Now Tracy McGrady is from here as well. He's from Arvindale. You hear him doing all kinds of stuff. From the high school that he, went to, they named the gym after him. He sends shoes and uniforms to the football team every year. My niece, she graduated from that school. But you always hear Tracy McGrady. He come here all the time, holding tournaments in Arvindale. He's very active here. But Stoudemire, I've never heard anything, and I don't know. I know one of his cousins, so I don't know. I doubt if his family agree with this nonsense that he's on. But we have a special case of people here in Polk County area. They think very different, So I want to know their take with this Democrat Republican thing, because they're very churchy here. So I don't know. The people think a lot different, but I've never heard anything from Stoudemire. We always heard, things going on with his brother. When his brother, passed away, he was on drugs very heavily, and he ran into a truck. Is when he, killed himself on this main highway here. So, but never heard anything from that guy. Never. So I'll end there.
Thank you, Miss Tata. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, I never heard anything about Stoudemire. Stoudemire just played basketball. He never got any kind of politics or anything like that. All of a sudden, you wait till after you retire, after you played overseas, after you become a citizen over there in Israel, and after you convert to Judaism and everything else, and now you're sitting up here trying to shame black people and talking about what black people didn't do and this and that or whatever. Like, man, come on, stop. We had nothing whatsoever to do with any of this right here that you're talking about, bro. So please stop the nonsense. We had absolutely nothing, and now all of a sudden you became Mr. Political. Now not only Mr. Political, you're Mr. International. Like, and not only that, you miss all other black people that did say something, that spoke out about it, and you try to hide behind the Black Lives Matter thing, trying to talk about black people. So stop it, Stoudemire. Go ahead and go back overseas and do like you've been doing your whole adult life, ignoring everything that went on politically and socially, economically, and just be concerned about yourself like you've always been, and stop trying to put black people people look for a reason to make black people to blame or something, like it's black people's fault that this happened. Like we were the ones over here launching missiles and everything else as well too. So sorry, that's not going to work right there. I want to give a shout out to my girl Goddess Michelle, because earlier I know she did contribute on Cash App earlier today. So I just want to give you a shout out, sister. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ely, go ahead and unmute your mic. I see Irie up here. Irie, we'll get to you. Go ahead, Ely. You there, Ely? Give Ely a second. I don't know. I know he was driving, so he may be Ely, you there? All right. We'll come back to Ely then. Go ahead, Irie. Unmute your mic. We'll come back to Ely.
Hey, Ely, can you hear Newstoter? You said you was next. Oh, my bad, man. I was coming in the crib, man. Hey, I just want to say, don't forget that the Prime Minister Hey, black American was the death of Palestine. Y'all forgot. You know what I'm saying? Remember that broad got she was down the ladder, they had the little UN conference?
Mars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a lot. And yeah,
Didn't they say that?
I believe he said something racist along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but it was something racist.
Was destroying Palestine? Now Palestine getting destroyed. So that's all I wanted to point out.
Okay, appreciate that. I know it was something racist. He said, like, you had this dude over there who did a space, a joker that was over there in Russia. He was trying to blame black music over here for the deterioration of the Russian youth and stuff like that. So, like I say, man, look here. Globally, black people get the blame for everything. like how many black Americans have been to damn Israel? I mean, what's the percentage? 1% maybe, if that, 2% at tops. How many black people have been to Russia? 1%, if that, 2% of that. And we getting the blame for stuff that's thousands of miles away. People, we never even set foot on in these countries, and they want to blame us for the deterioration of their rotten little kids. Irie, what's going on? You got to go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, man. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good. You got it.
Yeah, man. Peace and blessings to you, brother Segway, everybody else in the room. Yeah, I just wanted to tap in just because, after going through the Amar'e Stoudemire conversation yesterday, what I came to really just come to understand is that no longer should we just focus on the tools that's used, right? I think if we listen to Amar'e Stoudemire, a case can be made that it's probably more important even though we may never, we find out who called Amar'e Stoudemire that morning. Because whoever called Amar'e Stoudemire that morning gave Amar'e Stoudemire the talking points and the tools, the battery in his back to come out and actually speak to his people this way. And whatever conversation it was who called Amar'e Stoudemire, it was more focused on us supporting Hamas in their eyes, but really, I would say, I don't know what Hamas is. I'm learning about what that is, but I support the people of Palestine, not necessarily Hamas, but last time I checked, some people were saying Hamas was actually a group that started off over there from some of the conversations I was listening to with people from over there, that it started off just as a group of regular people just protecting their own people because they was getting shot up at their borders when they would go to work. So a lot of them actually might not even be in the image of what we were seeing on TV in the eyes of the government. But one thing I would say for sure is this: whoever was putting the battery in Amar'e Stoudemire's back, that's the one who actually deserves our energy and attention, because Amar'e Stoudemire is just a voice for that person, right? Whether it be a male or female, we don't know. But that is the essence of energy. And I think what was correlated or corresponded to Amar'e Stoudemire in that conversation is fuck Black Americans. Just the way to say it, which is code for white people as Black Lives Matter. So understanding that about how that goes is very important in the eyes of not only just Jewish people, but the world about who we support. Because let us not be minuscule by our position here. Who we support typically is the ones that the world will support, right? Necessarily that we don't have to be a bandwagon or a poster child, but much like Muhammad Ali or Malcolm X, when he said, I support the people of Palestine, those people are the people who are getting oppressed. So as a person who is oppressed, I always will support the people who are being oppressed. So understanding that and understanding the role of a victim of oppression throughout the world, yeah, I think it's real easy to say in this one, if they asked which side we would have to support, it would definitely be support. And all Americans do not support Israel, especially Black American Negroes. Those people enslaved our ancestors. Our people still have remnants of being on plantations that was fueling the economy of a lot of Jewish slave traders. So there is no way any Negro in their right mind would say that they stand with Israel if asked the question, or do you stand with Palestine? Understanding this as well, so what's taking place over there is absolutely important to not necessarily throw your hat behind, but to just stay tuned to. Because clearly, if somebody's calling Amar'e Stoudemire to get attention or a word out to us for not supporting the other side, they're upset that they don't have our support. If you look around America and around all of the continents over there, you'll see that people are celebrating in the streets in record numbers for Palestine. You'll see people are coming out in droves and they're having celebrations. And a lot of these leaders have been put on notice from these Israel leaders that they need to get their people in check because it's bad optics to go out in the world and be seen as the victim, right? So when you're seen as the, quote, victim in all situations, you win. But right now, what it seems as though Israel doesn't have the benefit of being, quote, the victim, right? That's why they tether themselves to us. That's why they align themselves to us. That's why they go ahead and do everything in our business. They want to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, when we're doing it. Oh, I stood with Martin Luther King. I stood with this person. I stood with that person. But Jewish people have never stood with us. When they literally got a hate crime bill 3 days after the Buffalo Tops massacre, we didn't get a hate crime bill. We're still asking for it. There's enough Jewish policymakers and Jewish people in the government to effectuate a change for us, just like they did for themselves. Whether you're talking about AIPAC, which is the biggest lobbying organization, being a people who have received reparations and seeing that we're asking and demanding reparations on the most nonviolent level we can. We don't have Israel support. We don't have a whole bunch of lobbies from Israel saying, hey, we want to make sure that the Black Americans get their reparations like we did when their soldiers was the ones that helped our ancestors. You don't see that anywhere. You don't see no murals of George Floyd. You don't see no murals of our protests on any of their stuff. So if it came down to it, to be able to know what side you will stand on, I think it's pretty clear when asked if you had to choose either or. And another thing is this, right? And I'll land on this part. And this time right now, when they say America stands with Israel, if you do not have the gall to say I don't stand with Israel, you don't necessarily have to say I stand with Palestine, but you do have to say I don't stand with Israel because acquiescence is compliance. And I don't think that you would be in your right mind to stand with a people who are suffering and crying about the same atrocities that they expounded on our women and children and babies was kidnapped for Jewish trade. That's what helped finance some of their finances and gave the economic power that they had because they transported Negro bodies across the four corners of the earth for trade, for business, and for economic purposes. So understanding that and knowing that history in 2023, yeah, I do not stand with Israel. I will not stand with Israel. And America sending $8 billion, $100 billion, after sending $550 billion annually to Israel needs to cut that check. Being over here that we're demanding reparations for the American people. I appreciate it. Appreciate the conversation. Thank you for listening.
All right. Let me say this real quick, Irie, and I feel how passionate you were. And you know what I'm saying? And you made some valid points, but I'm going to say this point right here. I'm going to be really short and sweet. Carrie, I see you got your hand up. Short, sweet, to the point. I'm going to be honest. I don't care either way. Like both of these groups historically, you know, and I know that you're talking about the transatlantic slave trade and what the Jewish people had and stuff like that. But let's not forget the first people that was enslaving black people, who they were as well, too. That's over there in the Middle East as well. So I don't stand with any of them. You know, that's their beef. That's their fight. They can find it. They can fix it out the best they can or whatever. And, you know, for the simple fact, we are Americans. We live in America. So our tax dollars are going to go overseas anyways. They're going to take it and do what they want to do. You know, whenever they're giving aid to somebody, they're taking that money from us here. But I'm going to just be honest. I personally don't care. Like, I mean, I know that's a cruel thing to say. And like I said, I don't want to see innocent people die and kids become orphans and, you know, women being violated and everything else over there, which you have in wartime. But I don't care. You know, I only care really about the plight of black people and what they've been going through in this country. And, you know, and you're right. They give Israel all this money and stuff like that, but they give a bunch of different countries over there money as well, too, throughout the Middle East and throughout Europe and Asia and all over the world and stuff like that. At this point in time, if it's not really about what black Americans over here, I don't really care. These groups, they've been fighting since they came in contact with each other. Like I say, over there in the Middle East, was truly really they started with, like they do in so many different times, they go ahead and they start creating these fake borders and stuff like that. All of that was Africa, all of that was black people over there anyways. And they pretty much just push these people out of the way, push the black people up out of the way, and treat them like pure crap, whether it's in a Muslim nation, it's in a Jewish nation, whatever. Because you got black Jews over there in Israel that get treated like pure garbage over there by the people. Don't even consider them to be Jewish. Treat them like they like trash over there. Don't respect them. Don't treat them right and everything else like that. So, and one thing we have in common with all of these nations, no matter what ethnic group they claim or whatever, if they skin light enough to pass as white, a lot of times in these countries, they treat black people like pure garbage, like pure trash. So if they want to go ahead and duke it out or whatever, may the best man win. Like I say, I hope the people could resolve it peacefully and stuff. Apparently they can't. They're not going to be able to do it. But at this point in time, I'm simply worried about the actual affairs of black people and stuff like that. And, no disrespect to them or their culture or whatever. But, black people, while everybody else is fighting it out and they get this and they get that, they get the kind of aid and stuff, the United States government, you can't even get it here being a citizen, being somebody who's a descendant of somebody who built the country. If you get the kind of money that they get all of these nations, Ukraine and Israel and this place and that place, people sitting up here talking about you're a welfare queen and you sucking off the teat of the taxpayers and you're sorry and you're worthless and you don't want to work and you just want handouts and all this other kind of stuff. You want handouts and it would be no damn country if it wasn't for your people building it and creating it. But you want the handout. So they can all, in my mindset, they can all, figure it out the best way they can. Like I say, no disrespect to them. Do what you got to do. But we got plenty of things over here that we need to work out. We got people, there's cities in this country, majority black cities, where people can't even drink the damn water. If they drink the water, they're gonna be sick to their stomach. They're gonna possibly die and stuff like that. Now I think it takes $3 or $4 billion to fix the water over there in Jackson, Mississippi, and they still ain't fixed the damn water. And who knows how many other cities, black majority cities in this country, where the water is ruined and messed up like that. But they can go ahead and they can get $3-4 billion here. And then when they're talking about a budget, what I'm talking, yeah, well, we can give $500 million to Jackson, Mississippi. Oh, we might be able to give a billion. No, you can give out the whole enchilada if you want to. You don't want to do it. So no, they can all, like I say, they can figure it out. And we as a people, I'm gonna move forward. I can't say with anybody else. Like I say, historically, and I get what you're saying about the financing of the transatlantic slave trade. But like I say, let's be for real. We talking to two slave trading buddies right here. We want to be perfectly honest, because 1,000 years before the Europeans came over there and started enslaving people in Africa, you had the Muslims coming over there enslaving people and stuff like that. The trans-Saharan slave trade that they never talk about, that they totally get a free pass on, and everything else as well too. So nah, they can go elsewhere with all of that stuff like that. I see exactly how how black people in Islam are treated compared to the actual so-called Arabs and stuff like that. So nah, I'm like I said, I don't wish any ill will on these people, anything like that. But I personally got bigger fish to fry. But I appreciate you coming up here, Irie. Let me go ahead and kick it to Carrie. Carrie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak. I really appreciate it. I used to feel very emotional when these things were going down over there. I used to be very triggered. I had a lot of empathy for the Palestinian people, because I saw them as a captive population, and I saw how everybody just kind of glossed over everything, and I felt like that was something that I was familiar with. But I was freed from that emotion. I was freed from that emotion by the actions and inactions of all of the people over there. Nobody advocates for us. Nobody cares about us unless they can get something out of us. We're like pieces of meat. The Palestinians, okay, you're experiencing something that's pretty damn horrible. Still doesn't activate their empathy for us. We got Rashida Tlaib over here doing wrong by us. Nobody's calling her out for that. Nobody backs us up over here. When we get harmed, people attack us. And I thought that somebody that was I imagined that people because there are some populations around the world that are misused, abused, trapped into, between a rock and a hard place. No future, no hope. Still, they are not activated enough to feel anything for us. So I was freed from that emotion. I no longer, my heart doesn't go pitter-patter. I don't get, I'm not worried about it. It is just a non-issue to me. On principle, I feel sympathy and empathy for the Palestinian people. That it's terrible. But right now, I'm an adult now, and if nobody extends to me, I don't have the emotional bandwidth to extend to anybody. Least of all, people who I see as, what I thought was in similar situations. Similar situation. When it comes to the Israelis demanding they want to know where our support is or something. I don't know. That's just the weirdest thing to me. They should know better. It feels like trolling when they're asking these sort of things, or they're, the Stoudemire comes up here and he's doing the F. I'm like, they just freaking told him to say something. Who knows what they told him, and he was all freaking upset and cussing us out. No, we don't need to be cussed out for anybody, by anybody, for any reason. We can't even live our lives like normal people. And everybody has to hold their own net. And that's all I have to say on it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me give a shout out to Taz too. Taz, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. I see we got a couple people that came up here. Muffet, I see you up here. Daughter Zion, I don't know if you want to speak or say anything as well too, but if you guys want to go ahead, Daughter Zion, go ahead. I'll get the YouTube back. Irie, Muffet, if you want to speak, go ahead and get your hand up. Go ahead, Daughter Zion.
Oh, thank you so much. I barely heard the room. I meant to tune in, but I couldn't make it. But I just want to say something real quick. It's kind of hard to put it in words, but I know I hear a lot of people talking about, hold that they need to hold their own nuts and all that stuff. But do any of you? Okay, I understand the title of the room, but I just have to make a point. Okay, do any of you wonder why we haven't got reparations yet? Just hold that thought. There's a link to why we don't have it, to what Amar'e Stoudemire said. Somebody told him to say that. Somebody's holding his nuts and squeezing them, just like they made everybody apologize, like Nick Cannon, Kyrie, Whoopi. It goes on and on and on and on. But you guys ever wonder who's behind the scene? Who's making people do this? Who's giving money to NARC and Cobra to lobby against our reparations? NARC and Cobra are supposed to be groups that advocate for Black people, descendants, but they don't. Somebody's giving them money. I don't want to say certain words because I don't want to get you shadow ban news. But I've been thinking about
I know, I know what you're talking about.
I don't want to say certain names, but just think about it, you guys. It's just food for thought, because this is something ain't right, and all you gotta do is just think about it, about who's controlling the strings. I think some of you probably know. You may be afraid to just admit it to yourselves, but it's all linked together. And I'm saying that about with Palestine. Yeah, maybe they haven't been able to support us or whatever. But I saw a video of an Israeli man, and I wish I could put it in your Jumbotron, but I lost it. And the way they live, they're close to each other's border. Now, he was going to go in this woman's house, Palestinian woman. He was going to go in her house and take it. There's a video. They were filming him. And he was telling her, well, I'm going to go in there and take your house. Now, he's a white man to me. And she says, she knows him. She's saying such and such, that's my house. You can't have my house. And he's like, well, if I don't take it, somebody else is going to take it. Yes, that's what he said to her. That's what those people live with. And yes, we need to be concerned because we are in a chokehold over here. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship we live in. That's why we never have gotten reparations, and they are actively fighting against us. That's just food for thought, people. Think about it, because this cannot continue. We can't continue to live like this. And I will land my plane. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, daughter Zion. Let me go ahead and get the Muffet, and I'll get to you, Irie. Go ahead, Muffet. You there, Muffet? Okay.
Hey, Brother Muffet, can you hear him?
You there, Muffet? I know he's probably there, but I don't know if he may be having some technical issues. Let me try him one more time. Muffet, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. There's a lot of background noise where I'm at right now. I didn't want to.
You want me to come back to you?
No, just let me get to a quieter place. Excuse me. All right, I just joined, and I just wanted to inform or advise everyone about one thing. I see Lafarge is on. I'm sure he gave it a passionate point of view supporting the Palestinians. I just came across an article on a website called Zero Hedge, where they're doing their darndest to attach, based on a comment from Black Lives Matter supporting the Palestinians. They're doing a lot to try to attach our image, or not our image, but Black people being in support of the Palestinians. And they're trying to use that to say that Black people or Black Americans support terrorists. I already see how they're trying to manipulate that.
I saw that earlier today too.
Yeah, so they're trying. Well, they've already concluded, even though most people are aware of the Palestinian situation and that the Palestinians have been occupied, annexed, and there's legal responsibilities when you're an occupied group. So basically, Palestine, we all know, is an open air prison. The Israelis have been terrorizing them, killing tens of thousands of them over the past few decades. But yet, they're always, because we live in a Western society and they're biased, they're the most biased. So they never look at things the way it is, and media leads actually the way people think. So they always present the Palestinians as being the bad guys. Israel is being the good guys, no matter what the actual situation is. But now it's transferred to trying to say, and I don't know how far this is going to go. The media has the ability to shape people's minds, capture their attention, and make them think what they want to think. But there's the average racists out there, the pundits in the media, and the commentators that's doing their darndest to connect Palestine to Black Americans. No telling, give me a second, no telling how far this will go, but I already see what they're trying to do. They're trying to attach that to us, which, in an attempt to bring the ire of people within the country down on us more than it already is.
All right. Thank you, Muffet. Thank you. I see my boy Nightfall and came up in here too. Nightfall and left the YouTube land to come back over here with us. Oh, okay. What's up, Night?
What is going on? Love, peace, and reparations to everybody within the space. It has been a very, very long time since I've been here, but I just felt compelled to come and kind of give my 2 cents as to what's going on. And quite honestly, they can hold their own nuts. I'm sorry. We owe no one anything. We don't owe the Palestinians nothing. We don't owe the Israelis nothing. We don't owe the Ukrainians nothing, because as far as they're concerned, they don't owe us anything. So seeing as how that's the kind of relationship that they have with us, please keep our names out your mouth. We haven't dropped no bombs. We haven't sent no missiles. We haven't sent any troops. We haven't done anything over in that area of the world. None whatsoever. In fact, most folks here in the United States who are Black and foundational Black Americans, they don't even think about those places. They don't even know they exist. But yet somehow, some way, they always seem to find some bootlicking shill to put our names into a space, into a conversation that has nothing to do with us. And quite frankly, Amar'e Stoudemire can also hold his own nuts. Because, brother man, you ain't had nothing to say about Tatiana Jefferson. You had absolutely nothing to say about George Floyd. You've had nothing to say about anything that has had anything to do with foundational Black Americans up to this point. But now, all of a sudden, you decide to crawl your pathetic ass out the damn woodwork and start talking noise. Brother, please stop. And if you are that concerned with what's going on over there with your fellow Jewish travelers, why don't you get yourself a passport, hop on a plane, go over to Israel, sign up to be a part of their defense forces, and put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, please shut up. Because as far as foundational Black Americans are concerned, our whole concern, the only thing that's on our mind, the only thing that's going to get us to move is reparations, cash payments for the things that have happened to us. If you ain't on that, which isn't on the Palestinians' agenda, it's certainly not on the Israelis' agenda, then shut up. Deal with your own mess and let us deal with ours. And that's pretty much all I got to say. I'll lay my plane.
Appreciate that, Nightfall. Real quick, guys, once again, up in the Jumbotron, far right-hand side, I see a number of you guys have voted in the poll. That's on the far right-hand side. Definitely go ahead and vote. For those that have not, definitely go ahead and vote. Retweet it out as well, too. The YouTube channel is up in the link as well, too. I don't know where it's at because we got a bunch of stuff up in there, but the YouTube channel is up in the link. Definitely go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. For those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter, once again, is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Support Black media. Once again, $Newstoter. Let me go ahead and get to Irie. Irie, go ahead and unmute your mic. You there, Irie?
Thank you, brother. Hello?
Oh, yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was just putting the roast in the oven. Yeah, man, one of the things that I think our people need to, or should have a consciousness of, or an understanding of, is international relations, right? Back in the days, our people spoke to international countries from our own community. Our own people did it. We didn't have presidents speaking on behalf of us. This is why you have, ain't no Viet Cong ever called me no nigga. And this is why Malcolm X said when he went out there, a lot of the other Arab people didn't receive him. And he said the people of Palestine and I forgot where else it was. He said Libya, I think something like that, have received them. And if you look down the line, you can see what happened to those relationships with some of those people. One of them being Muammar Gaddafi. I think he was going to send some money or do something with the Nation of Islam, and they killed him. When you look at our position to not have any international anything, it doesn't benefit us, right? And to look at what positions us in a position, if they ask us who do we support in their fight, because they feel like we have commonality with our fight as it pertains to being oppressed, as a people who say that they're oppressed, right? I don't know they're oppressed. They tell us they're oppressed. They tell us what level of oppression that is. And we see if it's correlative effects there. We see if we recognize their oppression with ours, and we see if they recognize their oppression with ourselves as well. So when we see ourselves and we see what's taking place on the international sphere, I think it does us a great service to do the opposite of what whoever called Amar'e Stoudemire to say what they wanted him to say. Because clearly our attention towards this issue has some relevance, right? I mean, to say that it don't is to be benignly neglecting the power that clearly we have. We just are not wielding it in a certain manner. So in my mind, how I look at it and how I perceive these events is right now, Israel is dealing with having to face the sins, the burden of their sins, of the things that they've done to a people that's more closely relative to their area right now than it is to ours. We say slavery, We just read about the Cohen plantation in South Carolina and how they was treating Negroes there. When I go and look up the history for Arab slavery, we literally got to go back a couple thousand years. When I go and look up what's going on with Israel with our slavery, we don't have to look back more than 150 years. So I think relativity to proximity matters. And I think also how we look at this situation compared to where things were 1,000 years ago to where things were 150 years ago is literally 15% relevancy compared to the other 85% that is irrelevant. So when we talk about how close we are in proximity to our relationships of being enslaved and being freed, we were enslaved in this country more than we were freed. We literally see a people who still had their liberation in their nation that literally watched it diminish before their eyes. You got people who are old and literally live in an everyday type of oppression. Now, when I see theirs, I don't do the oppression Olympics, right? But I think if one was to say, I look at the people whose neighborhoods were bombed, we know about that. Our neighborhoods were bombed. When I look at the people who had their water fucked with, we know about that. They fucked with our water. When I look at the people who are literally going through the things with Planned Parenthood and the birth control stuff, a lot of stuff was going on over there with the black Jewish people about the Reparations socks that was sterilizing black Jews that was coming over there, and they didn't even give them notice. And to some own people. So we see the same type of practices that they were doing to us in slavery in this country and still do today. I've seen a video as well of Palestinian children going through the stop and frisk practices that they execute in our country. How do you think our people learned that? A lot of people say, well, our nation taught the Jewish people how to go ahead and do what they did in Germany, but our police today are trained by Jewish people who literally come and do the same practices that they practice and execute on the Palestinian people. So I say this, right? It doesn't do me nothing to make a tweet and say I don't support Israel and I don't stand with Israel and to put my reasons why, right? It does not do me any harm to say that because my goal is that necessarily were they fucking with us before? Probably not. But out of all of these big ass pull-ups that they got going on around the world right now, if I could go to one of them to say, hey man, you know what? The Black American Negroes stand with you. Do you stand with us for our reparations against our colonizers? You don't know, and I don't think nobody even ever asked the question. So to even say that the opportunity does not present itself when clearly our attention is something that they really regard as something of value, I think it won't be an opportunity to miss to do at least a little bit of it. Just saying, hey man, I don't stand with these people. I don't necessarily want to put a Syrian flag on my back and go be at the next protest. But if I could go to a protest and they saying that they want to stand against oppression and the colonizer, and they want to get reparations in the form of their land back, and we want reparations in the form of our 40 acres in the mule, and to build a conversation from an international standpoint, I don't think that that's bad business or a bad mindset to have. Just being honest, because again, our reparations conversation is only in these spaces and relegated to being grifted because of the fact that we're the only ones talking about it. We're the only ones that they look at when they go and look at reparations. They go and talk to people like Narkin and Cobra because they are established by a certain group of people in this country who do not want the conversation to be legitimate. They don't want like I said, our ancestors were killed in the Tops Massacre, and then 4 days later, there was a hate crime bill for Jewish people. The manifesto was hidden from all media publications, and the guy was able to go ahead and make a plea deal with the government. It is not in the public's interest for our government to offer a plea deal to such a massacre murderer. His plea deal should have been execution, and he should have went to trial so that way we can have the evidence while going through these conversations for reparations, saying that there's a gun with reparations at the butt stop and at the forward iron sights, niggers. So pretty much every time he loaded his gun and he shot it, he thought about that being the delivery of our reparations, and it was these Jewish lawyers, these lawyer entities, these small hat entities that had their setup to make him be allowed a plea deal. So there is no trial. There is no public accountability. You don't even know that guy's name. You don't know his family. You don't know his background. You don't know who he was tied to. You don't know if it's linked to an international network or intercontinental network. You don't know if he was sporadically given information from a dark web or the open web because they got rid of it. But guess what? When they got rid of it, we didn't get anything from it. But the other people did. situation like this, where people who enslaved our ancestors sit back and simply say, it ain't got nothing to do with me, I'm adamant, my name Baby, I ain't in it, I'm worried about reparations. If you were truly worried about reparations, you wanted to actually say you're on the fight of reparations, because we're not trying to paraglide in to get our reparations, right? Nobody's on that time in this space, nor is anybody in our fucking diaspora is on that time. So since that's not what we're going to do, since somebody did that to those people who did enslave our ancestors in the past 150 years, not 1,050 years, it is in your best interest to pay attention and actually say what side of the fence you stand on. There's nothing wrong with that, and it does you nothing and no harm to make such a claim, because to say I'm okay with the government saying they want to go to war, it might not be too long before that battleship that left from Virginia and that just left again, those two airline carriers, they have American Negroes on them. You better believe that if they're either in the mess hall, they're either on the cleaning duty, they're either on the engineering corps, they're either in on the runway, but they're on that battleship and they're on that aircraft carrier, and they're going to fight a fight against people and for the benefit of people whose ancestors were enslaved by them. And I think that if you can do any type of protest, any type of reparations conversation, it should at least be that their bodies should not be put on the line for those people. Even if that was your argument, it's still pertaining to the vote, to the center of the conversation. And I think that if we logically thought about these things and how to utilize our mindset, like we ran down Africans for a year and a half for no benefit, for no avail, we could literally run down these motherfucking people who enslaved our ancestors for a benefit, to say that those soldiers on that carrier be sent back home. And that'll start to get the momentum, like the snowball effect, that our reparations is very much tantamount to our people surviving and not being utilized for people that literally enslaved us, right? Because if we don't want to fight for the Africans, we damn sure don't want to fight for these people.
All right. Thank you, Irie. Very passionate statement you had there. And I agree with a lot of what you said. I know you were slicing up the time and you were saying how much longer one was than the other. And I don't disagree with you on that. One reason the difference in the time was that Europeans took over the power structure from actually the Muslims. So that's one reason why, the slavery from them came at a more recent time. But let's also not forget too, over there in East Africa, parts of North Africa to this day, you still have Muslims enslaving black people over there in those countries. To this day, you still have slavery going on. And a lot of the Arabs are the ones that are participating in this actual slave trade as well, too. When we talk about the actual, in terms of the actual quality of life that a lot of these black people lead in these actual Muslim nations and stuff like that, I don't know if it's really any different than what you're seeing in a lot of these Jewish nations as well, too. So I get what you're saying in terms of the actual slave trade and everything like that. And like you say, I don't disagree with that. That they took part in the slave trade as well, too. So I mean, yeah, that was definitely a more recent thing as well, too. But a lot of black people catch hell in these Muslim nations as well, too. To this day, you have slavery going on to this day in Africa. And you have a lot of these Arab nations and stuff that they're trafficking people right from the actual continent of Africa to the Middle East to these nations that's ruled by actual Arabs and Muslims to this day. So at this, it hasn't really stopped. It's not to the level that it once was, but it hasn't really stopped to this day yet. So I get what you're saying, and it's all about the side. Like I say, I don't see. We've been fighting in foreign wars. We've been siding with people and everything for a long time in this country, and I don't see where it's really benefited us. Black Americans have gone to all kind of wars and stuff for this country. They've gone all over the world talking about democracy and everything else and world wars and you name it, and they receive no democracy whatsoever. So, I guess it just depends on how you, like I said, I really don't think that we, outside of if it's something pops off conflict wise and you're actually sending U.S. troops there, then yeah, you're going to have black troops over there. So yeah, then you would actually have a part in the actual conflict as well too, which is always a possibility. You don't know how this thing is going to escalate. So you're right on that part. Like you don't know exactly what's going to take place. We've seen the United States going back and forth over there from all of these wars and stuff. And most of the wars have been against, Arab type nations, Muslim type nations and stuff like that. That can't be denied. So I'm in agreement with you on that as well too. But I just don't see where it's beneficial to us. And let's be for real here. people, we talk about the Jewish people enslaving and this and that or whatever, but let's not forget that the vast majority, when we're playing a divide game here, because those Jewish people were white people. You know, I know a lot of people don't want to say, but they were white people. They were white people with a different ethnic background, religion, or whatever, but they were white people. They were white people who owned slaves in this country. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of times we're playing this game and we're dividing things up. Well, they was Jewish and they was Protestant and they were Methodist. And I mean, they were white.
That was what the whole Holocaust was about, right? They weren't white enough, right? Whiteness backfired.
Okay, Andre, hold on, Andre. Hold on. Mute your mic. We'll get to you in a second, but we're playing a game of this and that or whatever. You know, they're still, at the end of the day, they were still white folks. You know, so I mean, whether we want to say this or we want to say that, they were still white folks who owned slaves. I don't care what their religious background was. I don't care what part of Europe they came from, or if they went to the debt. They were white people that owned black slaves in this country. So I get what you're saying, and you know, we'll see exactly what happens. But I don't think anybody can really be.
I still call them white Jews. I still call them white Jews. I don't let them.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying, because people, we're sitting up here and we're acting like they were. I mean, let's be for real. The actual Jewish population of people that own slaves. You know, I don't know exactly what that number was because I wasn't around, but I'm sure more actual Anglo white folks own slaves or whatever. But at the same time, they still were white people. Now they play that game. Oh, are you trying to say I'm white? Like, yeah, I tell them, yeah, you're a white person. You're a white Jewish person. You know, that's what you are. But I know we got some hands up. And we'll go ahead and get to the hands real quick. But you made points, Ari, that, you know, a lot of them were good points and stuff like that. But this is what I say. Of course, the transatlantic slave trade affected us more than anything because we're here in this country, and it was more recent, like you said, and it went around the world more. The other slave trade is something that's rarely ever talked about. And as much as we talk about this and that, the Arabs have been given a free pass when it comes to the actual slave trade that they participated in, that they showed Europeans how to go ahead and do that. They created it, and the Europeans later would copy them and master it. They actually, you know, the whole thing with the slave trade, they get a pass for it. People let them go or whatever. So when we look at the lives of some of these people, and I know you have some certain religious sects that say, well, you know, in these Arab nations it's not that bad and this and that. In every nation in the Middle East, Black people are still the actual underclass. I don't care if it's Israel, Palestine. I don't care what nation it is. Black people are the permanent underclass in every single solitary nation that you have, black and white. You have it's about color. They are the underclass. They are treated like crap. They treated like crap in the Muslim nations. Even though that, like you said, they were friends with the Nation of Islam and this and that, they would shake the Nation of Islam hand. They would treat them like men, and yet the Black people in their country, they treat them like they were nothing. We're talking about castration and stuff. They perfected it. They perfected castrating men and stuff like that to make sure they wouldn't impregnate their women and stuff. So they have gotten a free pass in terms of the actual cruelty that they had towards Black people. And I know people say, well, that was 1,000 years. It was this or that, whatever. They still enslaving people on that continent. They're still enslaving Black people right to this day on that continent. And people talk about Gaddafi and what he would have done. Gaddafi wasn't going to do anything except go ahead and have Arabs controlling Africa. They would have took over the resources, and they would have been the actual damn control. They would have been the ones that controlled it. And the Black people would have been underneath that. Now they would have won. Black people were in religion with them, was supposed to be their brother, and they started drawing their swords on them, and they started killing them left and right when they got an advantage. They attacked. They were one of the first groups to start stabbing their damn swords and people back right here. So no, I don't put any trust in them as well either. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, this conflict between them, to me, is their conflict, straight up. We've seen we too long throughout history, Black people have been the damn what's the word I'm thinking about? But we're the ones that they call not the stepping stool, but we're the ones that that they call in that we're not part of the actual army, but we're the paid people that come in there to fight their wars and stuff like that. For mercenaries. We've been the damn mercenaries for thousands of years with all of these different groups, from the whites to the Arabs to everybody else. We've been their paid mercenaries. Nah, straight up, hell no.
Well, I can say this too, brother. Just quickly too. One thing I can say is that those are some very relevant points, and they are very noted. I can say this: the part of when they did have us enslaved, at least we obviously clearly went back to a land that was our land, and the Jewish people came and got us off those lands and brought us to another land. So that's one thing I can say. Whatever that enslavement was, not to relinquish any liability to them, we went back to our land after that slavery. We're still in the land of our captivity and have not had any type of push towards anything that we own over here, because all our cities have been burnt down, raided, massacred. They were no different than the Taliban over here when it turns to the government and the white people over here. And when I go through the Knights of the Golden Circle, which were the head spearmen of the Confederates, you need to look no further than Judah P. Benjamin, who was the head of the Confederate, who literally was a Jewish senator in the Confederacy, and he was also a general in their military. So it's like the Arabs, you don't see them with a strong political party over here undermining our reparations. The Arabs, you don't see them over here trying to go ahead and turn out schools. You don't see them over here poisoning our water, trying to sit at every seat of our government. I mean, the only one you can literally count to is Ilhan Omar. And even that one right there, they still have their little sticks about her, and they try to get her out here every chance they get. Every other seat in this government is owned and operated at the head department or the chair position by a Jewish person or a person whose ancestor comes from Jewish descent. And if they truly was with us, like they say when we marched with Dr. King and we did all this, they don't let you know that it was with the Jewish connections Dr. King had that opened up the wiretapping from the FBI. Because prior to that, Dr. King had no relations that allowed the FBI to have jurisdiction and clearance to go ahead and wiretap him. When he met the Jewish dude had relationships with the Communist Party, which allows them to go ahead and look at anybody repping the Communist Party as an enemy of America. Therefore, they're able to wiretap them through national security. So a lot of these things have to be understood when we have these conversations, because what looks like one thing on the outside with propaganda is really another nuance playing its part on the inside. So that's why I said, like I said, you don't have to go get a Syrian jersey or a Palestinian jersey, but it is beneficial to make it known we don't stand with those people. And if a person can go and get with a Palestinian at one of these pull-ups and parades they got going on and make it known like they used to do when we have our stuff and they want to throw their shit in with our stuff, hell, let's go ahead and make sure we pitch our shit on this. Like, hey, we want to make sure free Palestine and free the Negro, because we want our reparations. The Palestinians need their reparations in their land. We need our reparations in our land. We need to get it from our government, and our government don't need to send our people to fight the people who enslaved our ancestors' battles. I think just that line of conversation, there's no argument on any level of that to be beneficial for our people. That's just all I'm saying.
And I agree with you on that. And I'm going to pass it because we got some speakers. Let me give a shout out to Miss Trigger and Valerie for your contribution on Cash Apps. I want to just say this real quick, and then I'm going to pass it. And you're right. The land that we had and stuff is taken, but let's be honest too. The whole Middle East, you got foreigners sitting up there. Both the Israel and Palestine are sitting on somebody else's land, as well as the ones in North Africa. Let me be even more blunt to it. Huh? That's the same geographic. I know, but the blacks are pushed further. Now you got this whole thing, sub-Saharan Africa and all this other nonsense and stuff like that. Let's be for real. One group of people is indigenous to the entire planet. So every place that we look at in this world was once inhabited by black people. So all black people throughout globally have been pushed off of their lands and stuff, like, especially here in America, in Australia, South America, you name it. Every place you can think of, black people have been pushed up off of their land. But I want to go ahead. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to get back to you, Irie.
You remember the Egyptian prime minister said that they left here black and came back white, right? You remember that quote? Remember that clip? If not, I'll pass it to you on the back end.
Yeah, hit me in the back end with it.
I got you, brother.
All right, because I know we got some hands up. I'm gonna get to no taxation. I'm gonna get to you, Andre. I'm gonna get to you, I'm gonna get to you, Sister Sean, and I got you Trouble as well too. So no taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic. DJ, hold it down for me for 1 second.
Thanks, News. Hey, DJ. Hope everybody in the room is well and doing okay. Everybody want to know what black folks think. Black folks. They always want to know what we think because nothing moral in the entire world moves without us. And I keep telling y'all that. Well, we're on the side of the people that are being oppressed, and put a period on it. In some ways, Ari is right, and in some ways, News is right. We're at a point in this country where we don't have nothing to give. See, that's what people not getting. We're fighting a battle of our life to keep from being genocided as well. And it matters not whether somebody comes to our rescue or not. We're strong people, and we win battles against the greatest war country in the world. We do. We against the greatest system of white supremacy that's ever existed in the world. And so we got a lot of stuff to do for ourselves. Now here's the only, think how you want to think. This is still America. Everybody can think the way they want to think and do what they want to do as long as it's still legal. But here's what I want to say. I don't want to hear nobody say hold your own nuts. And I'm going to tell you why. George Zimmerman is still walking around free and living his best life. So we haven't held our own nuts over here. So who are we to tell anybody else to hold your own nuts? See, we have battles over here that we have yet to fight. We have people walking around in this country that have killed, murdered, maimed our children, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, our nephews, our sisters and brothers, our mothers and fathers, our neighbors. And we sit by idly. And unless and until we can get ourselves together on that point, we shouldn't have anything to say. Because we can't even damn words. When George Zimmerman is in that casket, because somebody decided to do something about it, then I'll say, okay, we held our own nuts. But until then, we ain't holding shit. And that's all I got to say.
Sean, that's excellent. Tax, appreciate the words. Hey, Tata, let me know when you're back. But go ahead, Sister Sean.
Yes, peace and power to the room. What I'd like to say is I don't wish any death or destruction of families, women, children, elderly, or even other men and young men to anyone. But in terms of this situation here with Israel, I have a couple of things and comments to say about it. Well, first of all, let's just say us as the Negro and the Negro freedmen, that's who we are, right? You got Chickasaw freedmen, all that. We Negro freedmen, okay? We are the most compassionate set of group almost in the world, and we are the standard. We are the ones that stand up to power. And we are definitely unique in that, and I hope that we all understand that. But we are the most compassionate, but there's no more tears. There's no more tears. Okay? My dog. Yeah. Now, here's what I don't want to say that I love about it, but the conversation has to be had about the influence of the Jewish folks, because they're not Jews, they're Jewish, right?
J-gang.
So they have made it in our country that is, now I don't have no dog in this fight. I'm gonna let that's nothing but, okay, You want to tell us, you point to Chicago, black on black crime, and all this bullshit you want to run on us. Let me tell you, you are the biggest perpetrators of white on white crime. Look at Ukraine and fucking Russia. That's white on white crime. Okay? So I don't want to play this game. But yeah, it's taboo that we can't have a conversation of what's going on with these Jewish people. They're not Jews, they're Jewish. Okay? So what we've got to look at is that in this country, in America, what's really going on? Billions and billions of dollars per year in foreign aid is going to this country. If you don't follow international news, and these mostly Negroes here in America, you're Christian. They're sitting up there in Israel spitting on Christians, treating them like dogs, and treating black folk like dogs. And it ain't just the Jews. It even crosses all these borders, the Venezuelans, all these people that they're importing into this country, they are importing hate. And all this is going to be a part of our justice claim. Because all of this are steps that the federal government is doing to genocide us, the Ukrainians. We talk about Chicago and the immigrants. Y'all don't know. They don't talk about this. In Chicago, I think they had about 20,000 Ukrainians. How come you don't hear about them? They amalgamated right up into they just morphed themselves. Where the hell are they? They have been there because they gave them jobs automatically because they look white. And they gave them Social Security. So let's just get back to Israel. So as far as I am concerned, as an American Negro freedman, we need to be taking some of those billions of dollars that you're giving Israel, and you need to give it to us for our reparations and restitution for Special Bill Order 15. We're not playing the Jewish game anymore. And this is what I think is good about it, because we're having a conversation. Why do you get all these billions per year? We just, a couple of years ago, they had the damn Thunderdome or something, the protective dome or the dome. And why the hell? We spent billions. I remember our Congress voted on it. Sent them billions for this damn missile dome, Iron Dome. Why the hell the Iron Dome didn't help you now? Why? You got people coming in on their parasailing, just like the Bay of Pigs. They're coming in on their parasails. It's 3,000 missiles. Where the hell did that money go to? Don't forget, y'all, we spent money. We paid for that. We gave them money for that. Plus, after the bombs came, we woke up the next morning or the day after, and Biden sent them more billions. Where the hell is all this money going? For people who call themselves Jewish. Why do we have that compassion when they don't have the compassion for us? And I just flip it. I say never forget. You ask us to never forget. I ask you, Jewish community, to never forget about the Negro freedmen. And I'll take you back. I know we are delineating, but we got to talk about the Black Holocaust, which is right here, what we talking about. What about this Holocaust right here? Why ain't those billions going to the Negro freedmen? We got a Holocaust right here, and we sitting up here financing people all across the world. And if we get past delineation, I'll take it one step further. Even if you don't want to put respect on our Black Holocaust, the Negro Holocaust. Let's talk about that. We can take it back to Africa. Leopold.
industry. 20 million. Why ain't nobody calling that a Holocaust? Why they ain't getting no money? But yet, this incident that they call the Holocaust, and I don't know what the number is. If you get the number off, you'll find your ass on the ADL list or Canary list being an anti-Semite. And here's another thing that they need to be reminded of. It's Black Negro soldiers to help to win the war against Germany. There were blacks who also were in those Holocaust encampments. Okay? So we done did it all. We've been the where all, be all. We've been in your encampments right along with you. We helped the United States win the war against Germany. That's the Negro. That you can't stand 10 toes down and say, never forget, and acknowledge what we're calling the Negro Holocaust. What about that? What about that? And I fold my chair.
All right. Thank you, Sister Sean. We're going to get to the last two hands tonight. We're going to get to Andre and we're going to get to Trouble. Let me give a shout out to None Swirl Zone over there on YouTube. Thank you, None Swirl Zone, for the contribution as well. Andre, go ahead and unmute your mic, and then we're going to get to Trouble, and then we're going to close it out for the night.
Thank you, News. Thank you to the room. Important conversation. I like what some of the other speakers were saying about, the strategy that we need to consider if we want to actually see some changes with respect to, our condition in the United States. I really don't know what else to say other than history has shown us a lot. There's been wars, massacres, deaths all throughout history. We have to look at both sides of the coin. We can get ourselves worked up about all of the murder and the death, which is definitely a time and a space for that. But we definitely need to think about the strategy for how to act to change these things. Standing out of the mobilization that's happening throughout the country and isolating ourselves, I don't think that's wise, given all of the evidence that history provided that shows that when you want to take down something as big as the United States, empires, they end up sabotaging themselves, but it's the people that they are oppressing that actually organize themselves and how to get rid of it. Now we talk about, on the one hand, beefing with Africans, but on the other hand, being indignant about the treatment of Black people in the Middle East. We talk about how the Jewish people are guilty of anti-Blackness, but at the same time we share their oppression in some of these historical events, and we recognize our shared oppression, right? So think about what brought us here, this transatlantic slave trade, meaning it was economic in nature. They were trying to gain wealth and develop. This is what it was very much based on this. And to front as if it's all, you let people amp you up to fighting somebody just to, fight. And really, we got to assess who's
was really about the solutions, right? And so this is how we organize based on that. And we see that, the United States is acting for profit. If we're going to say that they're doing these things out of the name of white supremacy and everything is being done for that reason, it's just ignoring the clear motive. What's moving the United States is trying to dominate and exert their influence economically, so that people, using military, using all sorts of tactics, strategies, but they're trying to get resources and profit, get people to buy their shit. You're buying oil from us. You're buying oil not from them. You're assembling our iPhones to be sold here. Coffee, everything you want to think about. The United States is trying to get everybody, debo them into using the dollar. They're sick of it. They're tired of it. We are in the United States. We have to acknowledge and be conscious of what the United States is around the world. It is our country that we can take control over, that is using the billions of dollars and advancing their interests through the state of Israel. It's been well documented why Israel was created in 1948 and how they went about doing it. The UN partition plan is going viral. I studied this stuff, in AP history class with an expert in the Israel-Palestine conflict, and so this shit goes way back in the United States, and the West as a whole came up in the world before, like you said, people mentioned that the Ottoman Empire, the Arabs, and the Turkic, empire. The Ottomans were Turkic, and so they had Arabic. They controlled and took over the Arabic empire, the dynasty that they had going on. But long story short, the empires have been going on forever, and the injustice and the oppression has been going on for a long time. We also have seen progress. Remember what got us here is the capitalist economic system that is about generating profit, reproducing the conditions for profit. If I bomb this country and destabilize it, can I make profit quick? Yeah. If I divide people based on race and have them fighting each other, can I come up and control the economy? The titans of industry, the people who are literally owning the shares in the companies that run the world, these are contracts that are being made for money between the United States and Saudi Arabia, and between Iran and Russia and China. They're all trying to get money because that's how people can control things in this system. We have to address it from our standpoint. We're not like them. We don't want to go to wars and spend all this bread and all of this wealth that everybody in the country works to generate. This is economics 101 here, and not to say it like anything or whatever, we all can make use of understanding what the economy, what implications it has on understanding society and what's going on around us. It's not the case, in my understanding, that race is determining everything, right? When we speak in terms of racial determinism and essentialism, we think that we have hammer and everything looks like a nail. We have to look at other analysis, other theories of how this is going on, and we'll see very clearly that these countries are fighting against exploitation. They're using the resources, they're getting the human capital, all of it, everything, and they're making sure that they can exploit them and so that they don't develop. They being the countries in the Middle East and Africa and South America and China, all over the country.
Hey, go ahead and land your plane, Andre.
So we got to look at the idea that our situation, our feelings about this stuff isn't as unique as we want to make it seem. Repeating that we're Negroes and that we're freedmen isn't actually going to move the needle. We have to organize around what is actually the issue, and we can see plain as day as all the other countries around the world and everyone here has been able to understand that, you know,
You got to go ahead and go in and land it, Andre.
I'm landing right here. The United States is the issue. They're the big empire right now, and they are moving on profit. We got to switch that MO and say the people, our community and other communities are going to have to come together in our commonality of interest.
You got to land. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to land your plane, Andre.
All right, let me land it there. So the commonality of interest. What is the United States interested in? They're interested in profit. What are we interested in? The same shit that 90%, the vast majority of the world is interested in, which is liberation from an oppressive system of profit, as we can clearly see is demonstrated, instantiated every day of our lives. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Trouble. I'm going to go ahead and let you get it, and then we're going to close it out for the night.
Sorry. Okay. I'll make it quick because I know you're ready to go, and damn, so am I because I'm sleepy now. Sleepy. Lord, listen, I love when our brother LaFarmer comes on because he's always doing Negro teams, and I love them Negro teams with the sound of beautiful children playing in the background. Man, I miss my babies being babies, and the sound of him. I imagine when the water is on, I imagine he's washing chicken and chopping up vegetables on the side to go with it. You know, so I love hearing that, and the brother be passionate, speaking that spit as he's going along. So I agree with a lot of the things that he says. So I hate to come on and say that I hate to admit that while I hate seeing the atrocities happening to the Palestinian people, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, what's going on over there is not our monkey, and it's not our zoo. If the point was made about the Palestinians holding the photo of George Floyd because they supported us during that time frame, and that to me felt like propaganda. And though it's appreciated, what Black folks have always done is we've always fought for everybody. And when we fight for people, it goes beyond a photo shoot. We fight. We literally fight for you. We fight our own government for you. We send our funds. We send our support. And we don't have other groups of people that do the same things for us. When they call themselves supporting us, it always comes in the form of a photo shoot with you holding up a sign saying, hey, Black people, we support you. We can't eat that. We can't live off of that. We can't spend that. And we damn sure can't build off of that. At the same time, I agree with LaFarmer's point where it's nothing wrong with us making a statement and saying, I don't stand with Israel because most of us agree that we don't. However, why are they asking victims of political, social, economical, racial, systemic oppression and violence to make a statement of that nature to people who proclaim to have went through the same things as us, only to turn around and enact that same injustice upon another group? We shouldn't have to. Why are you even asking us to say that we stand with the group who said that they were once oppressed, but is now oppressing another group? So we have our own things. We are going through our own economic violence and oppression, our own political violence and oppression, and you have to stop asking us to be the super saver hole for the rest of the world when we are still trying to save our own damn selves. And I'll land on that.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. Appreciate that one. We had a pretty long space tonight. DJ, you want to say something real quick? And I mean real quick.
Nah, go ahead, close it out, bro.
Yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night, for the space we're going to be doing. We were supposed to do it tonight, the Joe Biden's wall, but I went ahead and pushed that to tomorrow. So tomorrow night, we'll be talking about Joe Biden building on the actual wall at the border. He was supposed to be definitely against it, but now it looks like things have changed. So that'll be tomorrow night's discussion. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight, all the speakers, listeners, all my people on YouTube as well, too. Guys on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and like the video tonight. Share it, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment. Also appreciate all you guys on here. Make sure you guys go ahead and you participate in that poll that's up in the Jumbotron. I tweeted it out before. So definitely, guys, we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Everybody have a good night. Peace, be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Peace out, family. Enjoy your night.
Peace. Peace to all my people on YouTube as well, too, guys. Peace to you.